Against Morocco in the semi-final of the World Cup, with Argentina and Lionel Messi waiting, and there is history already as Morocco kick off and get the first touch for an African team in the last four of a World Cup tournament, and this, as I say, in the 22nd edition of the World Cup finals. But Chris Sutton, how much of a blow is that going to be, losing Aguerd, who was out there warming up but has had to be replaced before kick-off?
Yeah, it's a massive blow for Morocco. They can't worry and overthink about that now, but say one of their first choice defenders now just pulling out just pre-kick-off. As you said, we thought Saiss may have been the one. He had a rigorous warm-up with the coach on his own.
So it is the French on the attack, down the right-hand side with Dembele, but his cross, there were three Moroccan players there, actually almost in a line, blocking his progress into the penalty area, and now it's been run away by Amrabat down the left wing, but France, in the shape of Koundé, the right back, is able to dispossess him and then slices the ball out of play. The referee, incidentally, is from Mexico, and the assistants as well, Cesar Ramos. The French team tonight, Lloris in goal, who we were talking about before the start of the match. Koundé, Varane, Konate and Theo Hernandez. Then Youssouf Fofana coming in for Rabiot, who's been unwell, like Upamecano, that's why he's not involved. Tchouameni and Griezmann also in the middle, Dembele on the right, Mbappe on the left, and Giroud through the middle, as Morocco have it with Amrabat, middle of the French half, goes back to the halfway line. Mazraoui is there. He's one of the two players who've come in, well, three players it is now for Morocco. Mazraoui coming in, and Dari, who has replaced Aguerd. So it is actually two changes. They've come in for Amala and Atiat Allah, who are the two who are on the bench tonight. So the ball is at the back. El Yamik playing as the left-sided central defender. Saiss in the middle, and Dari on the right-hand side. Hakimi on the right, Mazraoui on the left, Amrabat and Unahi in the middle, and then Ziyech, Boufal and Neziri, the two-goal top scorer for Morocco at this World Cup. France have conceded one goal in every match they've played at this World Cup. Morocco have conceded one goal, and it is Morocco with Saiss, who plays the ball to the left-hand side to El Yamik, and El Yamik will knock it back into centre field. And in the first half, Morocco in the red shirts, the green shorts and the white socks are playing from right to left as we look, and France in the same first choice colours that they downed the English last weekend, the deep rich blue shirts with the gold numbers on the back, white shorts and red socks. This is a good period of possession for Morocco, but as I say that, they lose the ball, but then in steps Amrabat and is able to play it back to his goalkeeper Bono, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I think France, right, this tournament haven't been overly bothered about dominating possession. They certainly weren't overly bothered against England, and the early stages, the Moroccan back three, back five, they're just going from side to side. I feel that Ziyech and Boufal going to be so important for the Moroccan team in those wider forward areas, taking the Moroccans up the pitch. But Morocco's strength in this tournament so far has been to contain and then to counter at pace.
Well, this is a familiar noise if you've been following the Morocco matches. Whenever the opposition have long spells of possession, you can hear the whistles. There are thousands and thousands of Morocco fans in the ground. The FA were giving away an extra 13,000 tickets for this match. I know there were problems with the flights from Morocco, so whether they've all made it, I doubt it. However, it does seem to be pretty close to full capacity. Still the French in possession, in centre field. Back it comes into the centre circle, and Varane is there, and right-footed, he slips the pass forward to Griezmann, who's got away into the penalty area on the right-hand side, plays it across, and Mbappe in the area, couldn't get his shot in, does so, it's blocked, and then it's hooked in from the angle, and Theo Hernandez has given France an early lead inside 5 minutes. Mbappe causing a world of problems. Griezmann got away first, that was crucial to it, and in the end Theo Hernandez Hernandez, quite spectacularly actually, from an angle on the far side of the penalty area, left foot, found the net, and it's taken France less than 5 minutes to pierce this Moroccan defence. 1-0 the holders lead.
Yeah, all the talk this tournament has been about the Moroccan back line and barely making a mistake, and it's really poor play from El Yamik, the left-sided centre half of the three. Tries to nick the ball, get in front of Griezmann. Griezmann gets the other side. Varane slides the ball down the right-hand channel, and Griezmann tries to pick out Mbappe. Mbappe misses with his first strike, and then with his second strike, there's a deflected effort that falls to Hernandez, and he takes it superbly. Gets that left hip up nice and high over the ball from an angle. Past Bono in the Moroccan goal. The perfect start for France.
Just what you want in a match like this. When the pressure's on, it's the underdogs. What's going to happen? The longer this match would have gone on without a goal, the pressure would have increased on France. But they don't need to worry about that now, Chris.
No, absolutely. I think that would have been the French intention. I don't think the Morocco game plan will necessarily change at 1-0. I think they'll be pretty much the same. They'll still try and contain and counter. But they gives them more to think about, certainly, that early goal.
Certainly does. France 1, Morocco 0. Just thinking as well, you know, the initial pass that El Yamik went for, I must say I had Aguerd penned in to play on the left side of the three central defenders. He's not there. And then El Yamik diving in, Griezmann turned and got away from him, beat him into the area, you know, and to give Griezmann space like that inside the penalty area when, you know, that's been at such a premium for their opponents all the way through this World Cup. Yeah, I mean, that spelt danger.
No, it was Varane who stepped in with the ball at right side of centre half for France. It was a simple pass, but El Yamik dived in. Clever run from Griezmann. But you can't dive in that situation unless you are 100% that you can win the ball. Once Griezmann got the other side, that was the big mistake.
So now what can Morocco do? And they're bringing the ball forward, up towards the edge of the penalty area with Hakimi. Bounces back to Ziyech, who rather threw himself to ground. Wanted a free kick for that. They're absolutely howling for it down there in the red shirts with the green star. But now it's France who break away. And it's Mbappe, left side, into the penalty area. Plays it across, it's deflected into the D. And then actually stabbed back by Dembele into centre field. But Morocco very quickly back in possession. That wasn't a free kick, was it? The challenge on?
No, it wasn't. I think Ziyech went down far too easily, but alarm bells ringing when Mbappe facing up Amrabat, actually on that left-hand side for France, the Moroccan right. 1v1 situation, but didn't make anything of that.
This is 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well on BBC Sounds. We're across Africa on the World Service as well. So good evening, Casablanca, as the Moroccan side come forward with Ziyech, but overhits the pass beyond Hakimi, and it runs through for a goal kick. And back home, if you're on your way home, this match is on BBC One tonight, so you can watch it there or on the iPlayer. And as for every match at this World Cup live on BBC TV, you can watch while listening to our 5 Live radio commentary if you search for World Cup Extra, and the television pictures and the 5 Live commentary will be all synced up together. And the same will apply for Sunday's World Cup final, of course, as well, which at the moment will be Argentina against France. 3 o'clock kickoff, by the way, on Sunday. Don't get caught out by that. 3 o'clock back home, 6 o'clock here. That will be something of a relief as Morocco come through the middle, but France are able to clear it away downfield to Bono.
Yeah, it's poor link-up play, actually, from Olivier Giroud, who's had a brilliant tournament so far, but careless with the pass. And Ziyech then took a heavy touch, which tempted Konate. Stepping into Upamecano's shoes this evening, and he made crucial challenge.
This could open up for Morocco. Curling shot that Lloris has to go down to his left. Unahi took it on 25 yards, I would say, given the angle on the left-hand side. Right foot shot. I think that was finding the bottom corner, and Lloris leaping to his left, palmed it away.
A terrific response from Morocco. All of 25 yards out left-hand side of the box, trying to bend the ball in the far corner. Lloris got down to his left-hand side. It's a save you'd expect him to make, but certainly worked then.
Morocco inside the French half. Back it goes to the halfway line. El Yamik, just a little pass at close quarters to Unahi, and then forward to Boufal, and Hakimi gives it back to Boufal, who is challenged. And there's no free kick for that. Looked like a clean challenge, I must say. And France are able to bring it away.
I think that was a free kick. Boufal giving the assistant an ear bashing there. Looked like there was enough contact there. Dembele just gives it to Griezmann, centre field. Griezmann, left-footed pass. He's looking for Mbappe, who went down very easily. Come on, Kylian, you're better than that. Hakimi was with him, the two of them together. Whether there was the tiniest brush of an arm on Mbappe or not. Well, teammates or not, I think that's poor from Mbappe. Made a run on the inside of Hakimi. Slightest contact, he may have been offside anyway. Just watching the Lloris save. Elected to go with the one hand, maybe could have caught it. I think made a bit of a meal of that. You don't often see those caught, Chris, these days. Well, it depends how high your bar is, John. Right? Here's Koundé, flicked in field by Tchouameni. Griezmann gets there ahead of Ziyech, which is still inside the French half. Now here's the goal scorer, Theo Hernandez on the left-hand side. That was his second goal for France. The one that he hooked in, it was sort of waist-high, wasn't it? He still had to thread it past Bono, who came out from his 6-yard box, and there was a defender on the line, but he managed to find the target. So Theo Hernandez, the fullback, scoring the goal. Crucially for France. Remember the fullback scoring both goals in the 1998 semi-final, the World Cup semi-final. Lilian Thuram, who was until just a few days ago France's most capped player. Here is Griezmann down the right-hand side. I thought he might have got a shove in the back there, but the assistant is not having that either. Another official. It's a throw-in to Morocco. Yeah, he's let a few go, hasn't he, the referee? I think Griezmann just pulling out on that wide right-hand side. We'll see him drift everywhere in his search for the ball. At the other side of Boufal, drew the foul. Oh, it's been given away. That was a poor touch from Amrabat, but France can't take advantage. And it's out of play on the far side. The referee just coming across and having a word with Saiz. Not sure what that was about, particularly. So there's clearly a doubt over Saiz's fitness. If you've just switched on, big blow for Morocco. Aguerd of West Ham, who's of course has just had all manner of problems with injuries since he signed for West Ham last summer. He was injured pre-season, match against Rangers, wasn't it, that he was injured, and has barely played for West Ham. Now ruled out of the World Cup semi-final shortly before kick-off. You have to feel for him. And without him, Morocco going down 1-0 in the first 5 minutes. So here's Unai. Out to the right-hand side, just kept in by Hakimi. The Paris Saint-Germain man crosses the halfway line, gives it to Ziyech of Chelsea, but Theo Hernandez forces him back into his own half, and it's returned to Saiz in the middle man role of the three central defenders. The number 6, who was born in France, Romain Saiz. Besiktas now, after his long spell with Wolves. That looked like a foul on Ziyech, and the referee Hakimi and the referee does agree with that. It's a free kick to Morocco, 10 yards inside French territory. Yeah, we're just seeing Hakimi. They've set up where he's the right wing back, but coming in that inverted position, trying to get little overloads in the middle of the park. An opportunity for Morocco now. Centre halves have gone forward. Free kick halfway into the French half. Free kick out towards the right-hand side. As I say, it's round about 10 yards inside French territory. France leading 1-0. And the delivery, left-footed towards the penalty spot, but that's high and headed away across the penalty area
by Konate, who's come in for the French side for Meccano today. Forward it goes. Dembele now gets the ball down onto the playing surface and runs away from the centre circle to the right. Back it goes to Tchouameni, who was doubtful for this game, remember. Had a little bit of a calf problem, but has been past fit, the man who scored the opening goal against England in this stadium in the quarter-final. Dembele back to the halfway line, and now Varane. Varane turns and comes forward, but red shirt's ahead of him, so turns it back to Koundé behind him, and then a little pass again to Varane on the halfway line. Not a great deal of movement ahead of him, but France have got that early settler, the early opening goal. 15 minutes played now, and Tchouameni going in for the tackle in the centre circle to keep the ball for the defending champions, the 2 times World Cup winners, 3 times finalists. Tchouameni now to Fofana of Monaco, to Hernandez, into Mbappe, who ran towards the ball, sprint, but as he got there, a heavy touch, it bounced away, and Morocco were able to take possession again. Pass it forward centrally, and that's nicely done by Boufal, and Boufal plays it to the edge of the box, and Ziyech with the shot, but he was falling as he did so, as the challenge came in on him, and he was only able to shovel it wide and behind for a goal kick.
And that's the Moroccan danger from one end to the other. Lovely turn in the middle of the park from Boufal, let the ball run across his body and is away from Fofana, and he slides the ball out to the right-hand side, but Ziyech just off balance. It was a weak, tame effort.
Oh, now Giroud has got away. That was poor defensively, and Giroud smacks a shot into the outside of the post, and it bounces away wide. Well, the big man, the great man, France's record scorer, pulls the front of his blue shirt up right over his face. He hit it extremely well, but post and wide.
Oh, he did. He caught it absolutely flush. It's just one long ball. Awful defending from Saiss. It was Konate who clipped the ball into the left-hand channel. Bounced once over Saiss's head, and then Giroud drives into the left-hand side of the box and hammers the ball left-footed against the post. Just goes for power. Bono wasn't getting to that. A let-off for Morocco, but Saiss is really struggling.
He's struggling. Yeah, that's another moment there. This is unlike them, isn't it, at this tournament, to be opened up, firstly in the way that they were for the goal, and then there, and that was a misjudgment of the bouncing ball.
Yeah, I mean, that ball's travelled, what, 60 yards? And you think, he would read that 99 times out of 100 situations, but he's carrying an injury, and this is the worst case scenario, isn't it, for Morocco?
It is, and if you make mistakes like that, if you give France those opportunities, they're not going to miss all the time, and the ball just bouncing out of play for a throw-in to France halfway inside their own half. So France 1, Morocco 0. BBC Radio 5 Live here up to the north of Doha. That's where we are. First time you've been in this stadium, Chris. I've been here more than once, as the ball is played to the right, but it is a striking place to come to, I must say. As you drive up into the darkness, it's so flat here, you can see for miles and miles in certain directions. There are just no lights at all. And here it is Morocco coming forward with Ounahi, then back to Amrabat, now on the right-hand side. Morocco 1-0 down. This is the first time they've been behind at this World Cup. Deep cross from the right from Hakimi, but it's easily caught by Lloris, who is just able to unflappable and catch it calmly and underarm the ball out to the right back.
Yeah, and Roman Saiss gesturing to the bench, get me off quickly. Really isn't ideal.
So the gamble's not worked then?
Absolutely not. And we saw him in the warm-up. There was that concern. You get it though. You get it that he wants to play. Such a huge game. Unfortunately, he'll be taking an early bath, and they're going to miss more leadership at the back. Haggard off, Saiss will be off, and then that inexperienced backline against a team as formidable as the French. That spells trouble.
Formidable. Here's Varane playing it through the middle to Giroud. Little flick from him, and Mbappe comes across, gives it to Griezmann, but Mbappe, in his enthusiasm and his exuberance to get the ball, actually went through the ball and has actually fouled El Yamik, and it's a free kick to Morocco.
And he was having words, wasn't he, with El Yamik? Clever play from Giroud. The ball fizzed into him and just played the ball with the outside of his boot around the corner to Mbappe. He fed it back and then made the run and trod on El Yamik's foot. And it does hurt, John, if someone stands on your feet.
I'm sure it does. Well, that's it. 20 minutes, and the captain, the French-born captain, Romain Saïss, he can't go on any longer. I think that last moment when Giroud got away from him so easily, I think that he's had to make the decision. Morocco have had to make the decision, and he's replaced by the number... Who is it who's coming on? Amala coming on. Yeah, the number 15, Salim.
So it'll be a change of shape.
Yeah, back four now, presumably. Yeah. So they lose Aguerd just before the match. They've lost Saïss after 20 minutes. They're 1-0 down. France have got their tails up.
And they have, I mean, you look at the centre-half pairing. So inexperienced. They're going to have to deal with Olivier Giroud, who is so cute, so clever, so sharp with his movement.
So Salim Amala of Standard Liège is coming on. He has started 4 of the matches in midfield. So this actually now looks, in terms of the formation, the system, it actually looks more familiar for this Morocco side that has made progress to the semi-finals. But they're 1-0 down, and they have neither Saïss nor Aguerd in central defence. France in possession, and it is Konate of Liverpool who's playing as the left-sided central defender. They did start together, these two, against Tunisia, the match that France lost. Here's Hernandez on the left-hand side, the goal scorer. Mention the fact that he scored in the semi-final, and that Lilian Thuram scored in the semi-final. And in the semi-final 4 years ago, it was Umtiti who scored the only goal. So another defender who scored in that one. And the ball at the back with Mazraoui of Bayern Munich. So in central defence with El Yamik now playing as the left-sided of 2. Forward into the centre circle where Ziyech comes and then turns and gives the ball out to Hakimi, who's on the right wing. Boufal is there as well. Boufal, low ball towards the edge of the box where the newly arrived Amala was there. Now it's back again with Hakimi. And then Amala, little ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Amala tried to return it, and there's a foul in there against the French. Foul on Hernandez, free kick to France in their own left-back position. 1-0 France lead.
Yeah, Hakimi there on Hernandez. I think it was a foul. Hernandez getting his body in. In fact, as Boufal just catches within the ankle and goes over. Hakimi was there to pick the ball up, but it's sort of the perfect scenario for the French, this, isn't it? They can control the game, try and lure the Moroccan forwards into the ball, play round them.
Lure? Lure? France leading Morocco by 1-0. Let's see if they're able to lure them into their trap. It is Varane with the ball at the back, long and right-footed towards the edge of the box. That is headed away by Dari. And then again the French with Fofana, but volleyed onto the chest of Hakimi, and Morocco have it again in front of their penalty area. Even though it's 1-0, I'm tempted to say, if we've got a Morocco-Argentina final on Sunday, well, the next hour and a bit are going to be worth watching. France concede a free kick. Konate just stepped in, just a little heavy. Free kick against Hakimi, so against Ziyech, so it's a free kick near the halfway line. The referee just comes across and has a word with Konate.
Yeah, just first impression. No, it's not a yellow card. Long way away. I just wondered whether that was an overzealous challenge. It wasn't. He's had a pretty solid start, Konate. Was this, I think we were discussing before, the centre-back pairing which started the game, which they lost, John, against Tunisia?
Yeah. Tunisia, the group match, the one they could afford to lose, and did. And this is his third start of the tournament, Konate. But as I say, barely played, just 4 appearances for Liverpool this season. Morocco take a throw back towards the halfway line, where El Yamik will knock it across to Dari, and then El Yamik again, and the 2 central defenders together. And in fact, Amrabat has dropped right back there, almost into the back line. Amrabat turning it here to the left-hand side, and then ball played infield by Unahi, and now Amrabat, and then central, Amala. We'll see the run of Hakimi, and Hakimi tries the shot, but that's into the back of Konate, and it bounces away, the broad back of the central defender. And now it is the French coming forward with Mbappe, but that comes to nothing. But there is an infringement in centre field by Dembele.
Yeah.
So it's a free kick on the halfway line.
He should see yellow for that, as far as I'm concerned. Anahi gets the ball, drops his shoulder, gets the other side of him, and a bit of country dancing there from Dembele, hauling him back. Very generous, the referee.
Morocco with Hakimi, back out to the right side again. Ziyech gets his head down now, cutting in field, and then, challenge inside the penalty area. That's given us a free kick for a foul on Theo Hernandez. I did think for a moment, and it's a yellow card actually as well. A yellow card for Sofiane Boufal. The referee, hang on a minute. We're just watching the replay here. Now that's given us a yellow card against the Moroccan player Boufal.
It actually looks like it was a foul from Hernandez on Boufal, unless we're missing something which happened earlier.
Well, that's what it looked like to me when we saw it again, but surely it had to be for that incident. Now Hernandez has come off worst in this. He put the challenge in. It was kind of a 50-50, but they were both late, effectively.
It seemed like Hernandez didn't get any of the ball there. I'm baffled by that one, because if he did bring Boufal down, it should be a penalty to Morocco.
So while Hernandez is receiving treatment, play has not resumed yet. Moroccan players are coming for a drink. Helpfully, as has often been the case at this World Cup, just when you want to see another couple of replays of a penalty incident, they're actually showing us pictures of the crowd celebrating the goal after 5 minutes of the match. So we'll just have to go with what we've seen now, Chris.
I wondered whether that could be for something which happened a few seconds earlier, but it's really baffling, that decision.
Yeah.
Seemed like Hernandez, the goal scorer, who was the offender there.
Well, he's okay. He's received treatment, and he's flexing his right leg. Play's not resumed yet. And the Moroccans are still enjoying their drinks break. And I think that as well, Walid Regragui has taken the opportunity there to give them a bit of a G up, actually, the position that they're in. You know, we can see it from up here. They'll know it down there. They're right up against it here. And play resumes with a French free kick inside their penalty area. Goodness knows whether we'll ever get to see that again.
I'd hazard a guess. No, we won't see it again, but it looked like a penalty to Morocco to me. VAR not working.
It is Morocco who are back in possession, but Giroud arrives on the scene and wins it back from Amrabat, and now Giroud is bowled over by Amala, who just comes in, uses his body and sends Giroud sprawling across the turf. The free kick count in this match is high, and it's a free kick for France that we're going to see next.
Yeah, Giroud just getting the other side of Amala bundling him over, and Giroud having words. Seeing Mbappe play a bit of a different role to what I've seen him play earlier on in the tournament, where he's not just hanging really wide on that left-hand touchline, is playing more as an inside forward, playing on the inside of Hakimi, quite close to Giroud.
Half an hour played, France 1, Morocco 0. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. We're on BBC Sounds as well, of course, and across Africa on the World Service. Here's Amala, the substitute. Nice turn, plays it centrally. And Unahi is onto this, then plays it to Ziyech on the right-hand side. Ziyech on his left foot, lots of French shirts black, so he uses Mazraoui, and then Mazraoui to the left-hand side. We have Boufal slips it into the penalty area. Mazraoui drags it back outside the D, but the offside flag is up against the Bayern Munich man, Mazraoui, and even though Unahi goes for goal, he curled his shot low and wide. Free kick.
Yeah, they work the ball from right to left. I just wondered whether Ziyech had the opportunity to get an early cross in. Morocco had loaded the box, came out to the left-hand side, and a poor run from Mazraoui, the left back for Morocco, 3 or 4 yards offside when Boufal fed him the ball. There's only been that one effort, that long-range effort, which Lloris saved comfortably from Morocco.
But I think we'll both be really interested to see whether we get to see that challenge again, for which Boufal was booked, wasn't he? Boufal was booked for that challenge on Hernandez. That with the one replay we saw, it looked more like a foul by Hernandez on Boufal inside the French penalty area. But now Amala plays it through the middle, and Ziri was almost onto that, but defenders went with him. Good defending, actually. Varane and Konate together. And then they can't keep the ball in on the far side, and it's a throw into the French.
Yeah, it was really good defending. Unahi has got in behind the French midfield once or twice now and slipped the ball from a central area to En-Nesyri. They've made a good run on the inside of Varane, but Konate, his big right boot, just making sure he stuck that out and made the interception.
So half an hour played, that's Chris Sutton with us. Micah Richards is here as well. We'll hear from Micah at half-time. Mark Chapman up in the commentary position, high in the stadium, on the dressing room side of the ground. And France, just the one goal in it, but France, it does feel in control. And Morocco have had to deal with things tonight that they've not had to deal with during the course of this World Cup. And I'm talking in terms of going behind in the match, 1-0 down, but also the injuries and the disruption. And it's the French who come forward again, and that was a late challenge, actually, but play continues. And Mbappe into the penalty area on the left-hand side, lays it back to the edge of the box, low shot from Tchouaméni, but Giroud is in an offside position, and it is a free kick to Morocco. And Hernandez has taken another knock there, and that was late on him this time. He managed to play the ball forward, but was caught late.
I think we'll see a yellow card here, will we? No.
Well, it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you don't get booked for that, it was really poor challenge, very, very late from Dari, I think it was. Yes, it was on Hernandez, who popped the ball out left to Mbappe. Drove the inside, didn't he, Mbappe? And he's such a threat, such a danger when he's running at defenders with pace.
He's quite fortunate to get away with that in terms of physically. Hernandez, that could have been nasty. But he's with a bit of force, actually. Here's Giroud. Here's Griezmann taking the ball on down the right-hand side. Dembele with the cross. It comes off Tchouaméni, who could not get there and clear it away before it had crossed the white line. So it is a corner to the French from the right. First corner of the match, I think. Yes, it is.
Dembele likes to come inside on his left foot this time, driving the outside. Low cross, which Mazraoui deflected off him, goes behind.
It's the first match that you and I have commentated on, Morocco inside the stadium, and the whistling is quite shrill, isn't it? Griezmann to take this corner. Lots of movement in the box. Griezmann plays it in, takes a little glance, and then the shot on the turn. Off balance for Fofana, actually. He was having to twist and hit it, and as he did so on the half volley, hit it wide and high and wild. Goal kick.
Yeah, had more time there. Fofana did. Made a run across the near post, and the ball breaks behind him, so he's running back towards his own goal as the ball bounces, but lashed The left-footed shot wildly over Bono's bar.
So the goal kick is taken, and actually the goalkeeper, all in blue tonight, is walking out of the penalty area with the ball. I think producer Gary has found a replay of the incident that we think Morocco might have had a case for a penalty. So just keep an eye on that, Chris, while I commentate, and see what you think as Morocco bring it forward. But Tchouameni steps in, and now Tchouameni carries the ball forward. Excellent balance for him, kept his feet, gives it to Mbappe. Mbappe plays it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and it was cleared away by a falling El Yamik, and then it's driven in from 25 yards from Tchouameni, who landed onto it, but that was wide.
Giroud, it came to Giroud, the shot from Tchouameni, and I think Giroud has to score that. That's a huge opportunity. Initially, Mbappe puts the burners on, gets on the inside of Hakimi. Bono comes out, and as the ball is struck towards goal, Giroud, loitering around the penalty spot, hooks a shot goalwards. But you'd expect a player of his quality, and has been so impressive in this tournament, to hit the back of the net. He sweeps the ball past the right-hand post from Bono. Had time to take the ball in, then take a touch and finish.
Oh, Bono could be in trouble here, but Griezmann, he was able to drag it onto his left foot and clear it away. That's another chance. Giroud then, he's hit the post, he's had that opportunity to put wide. Hernandez scored the early goal. This looks ominous, Chris, I must say, for Morocco.
Well, it does, but you've got to ask the question, will the French rue those missed opportunities?
Well, now Tchouameni's been fouled by Amrabat.
I mean, we've seen some crazy refereeing, haven't we, in this World Cup? We've seen referees card happy. I was at the Netherlands-Argentina game where, I mean, there was at 7 times we lost count. We gave up, myself and Ian Dennis, after a while, and this one just keeping his cards close to his chest, John.
Yes, I think it was more than that, wasn't it? This is the referee who's shown only 7 yellow cards in the 3 matches that he's refereed before today. So he is one who does keep his cards close to his chest.
And where's he from?
Mexico.
Ooh, Mexican league. Must have a lot of rough and tumble.
Well, I wouldn't want to stereotype, Chris, but I met some Mexicans on the metro last night when I was coming back from Lucille. Yes, they said you must come to the Azteca in 4 years' time.
Yeah, you had a little trip to Nando's as well, I heard.
That was the theme of the night. France 1, Morocco 0. Did you see the replay of the Moroccan penalty shot?
I may be going mad, but I thought it was a penalty to Morocco.
Tchouameni bringing it forward, but then gives it back to Fofana, who will go back to Konate inside his own half.
But what about VAR? Why is VAR not dealing with that?
Well, they must have had a look at it and decided it wasn't.
Well, that was baffling. It really was.
The VAR tonight, as the ball's played over the top for France, looking for Mbappe, but this time they're able to deal with it, Morocco, but it bounces back into central defence. But
I suppose if it's a Mexican VAR, without trying to stereotype the Mexican league, I mean, you can see why they would let that go, but, I mean, blimey.
It's not, he's Canadian, Drew Fisher. Here's Mbappe on the left-hand side, gives it in towards Griezmann, 30 yards out. Back it goes behind him to Fofana. Now on the right-hand side, slipped forward by Dembele. Griezmann in the box now, and then a crucial challenge, good challenge as well, actually. Went to ground, slid in. He had to get that right, El Yamik, but he did. Corner.
Similar to the position which Griezmann took up when the French scored their first goal. That right-hand channel, just making the run beyond, but to El Yamik's credit, he gets back and makes the challenge, and Griezmann was bearing down on goal.
So Griezmann with the corner, but the referee is talking to Konate and El Yamik, who are standing next to the penalty spot. So we've got 2 French players near the penalty spot. Actually 3 now, and Griezmann waiting to whip this in, left-footed. Here's the corner, and it's all flicked wide of the near post. The run there was a good one from Varane, actually just tried to help it on with his right instep, but curled it wide of the near post.
Yeah, that's twice. Corners from Griezmann, whipped in left-footed, in swingers. And there's Fofana with the previous corner, made the run, first man into that near post space. I think it's Mazraoui who's supposed to be occupying that area for Morocco, but once again switching off. Varane making the run across him, just couldn't deflect the ball on target.
So it's still just 1-0, so they might rue these chances. There could be streets ahead. Morocco bringing the ball towards the halfway line, and it's turned here to the left-hand side to Amala. Amala shuffling forward with the ball, but overhits the pass, and France have got it back inside their own penalty area. 5 minutes to go to the break. France 1, Morocco 0. This time next week, incidentally, if you're listening to 5 Live, you'll be listening to Carabao Cup commentary. Manchester United against Burnley. It'll be the second of 3 nights of Carabao Cup commentary. It just seems surreal, that, to me. But
what, Manchester United against Burnley?
Well, stepping from World Cup semi-final one Wednesday night to League Cup 4th round the next Wednesday night. But I'm sure there's many people who've been drawn into 5 Live because of the World Cup over the course of the last few weeks or so. And if you have, or if you're new to our football coverage, as the ball's played over the top for Dembele, but I don't think he'll reach that, and it bounces through for a goal kick. This is what we do all the time, isn't it, Chris? For new listeners, this is what you can listen to on 5 Live all of the time. Live football commentary, live sports commentary, Premier League, FA Cup. Next first weekend in January, we'll be bringing you the FA Cup. That'll be all over 5 Live and the BBC, and then the Champions League in February and March. It's all here for you on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Right now you can take the World Cup with you, John.
You can still take the World Cup with you, but time's running out, so take it. Mazraoui, long ball forward, but that is over the head of En-Nesyri, who we've just not really seen as a factor in this match so far, En-Nesyri.
No, and I mean, I think it's he's been starved of service, but when you saw his leap for the goal against Portugal, you're thinking, why not try and get a couple of crosses into the box for him? It's up against a couple of big centre-halves in Konate and Varane, but not many defenders could have lived with that En-Nesyri jump. Was it 9 foot?
Is that right? I missed that. 9 feet?
No, I think 9 feet 1, I think.
It's like basketball, so they tell me. As the ball's hooked forward by Tchouameni, but it bounces for Mazraoui. Mazraoui could be in trouble here against Dembele, but he managed to get the ball down and get away from him, and is able to take it away. And then Amrabat swings one to the right-hand side. In it comes infield for Onahi, and then into the penalty area, but a sliding interception, good one as well from Konate. There's Hakimi, the right back with the run, the burst into the penalty area, but it's a Moroccan corner, their first of the match.
Yeah, what do we know? We know that Mbappe doesn't track back. Hakimi marauding down that right-hand side. Give and go. Konate, got to say, it's been flawless in this first half for the French.
Corner from the right, Ziyech to take it, the referee that is right in the middle of things again, near the penalty spot, and there's lots of pointing and nodding and instructions being given, and there's the whistle. So half-time whistle not far away. 1-0 France lead, could be more, but it is only just the 1 goal in it. Ziyech with this corner into the near post, which is headed away by Varane, and then an overhead kick, oh, it's the post, bounces down, still inside the penalty area. I've got a feeling that was El Yamik, and then a shot on the edge of the D is stabbed wide. And what about that? A bicycle kick from the central defender that smacked the post to Lloris's right and stayed out.
Yeah, the corner fizzed in. Giroud just helps the ball on. And it goes up in the air, and El Yamik bicycle kick, as you say, and hammers the right-hand post. I think Larry just gets a tiny, tiny finger to the ball, crucial finger.
Good save, that.
Was a good save.
I mean, it might have been hitting the post anyway, but he kicked well to get to it.
He did, and I think El Yamik was the one who made the mistake, that poor error of judgment for the French goal.
Yes, he's tall, he's lean, he's got a magnificent side parting in his hair, and he was so close there to coming up with the equaliser. That would have been a surprise. 1-0 France lead, and it is Morocco coming forward, and the ball bounces off, and Hernandez is back in there. He's claiming that he didn't get the final touch, but I think he did, and so does the Mexican referee, and it is another corner. And now all of these Moroccan supporters, they're on their feet, they're waving their flags, they're jumping up and down, they're doing all they can to try and help their team muster a goal. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Ziyech waiting to take this. They caused problems with the last one. That was also from that side, the far side. Ziyech now into the 6-yard box. Lloris comes, gets something on it. He was being challenged, and the ball bounces down, and he's able to gather it and drop on it, and he has it safely.
Yeah, the ball whipped in great pace from Ziyech. Lloris comes 5 yards out. Hakimi puts him under pressure, drops the first ball, and then pounces on it.
Long one over the top from Lloris. Don't see that too often these days, do you? He actually just smacked it right down the middle of the pitch. It's been deflected out of play, it's headed away, deflected out of play. It's next to the Moroccan bench. Walid Regragui is down there, black suit, shaven head, as you'll probably know by now. And now they come again, and they're being urged on once more. It's Ziyech now. Ziyech, Hernandez is there, but the cross comes from the right flank from Hakimi, and it's cleared out of play by Chouameni for a throw-in 10 yards back from the corner flag. They're having a better spell here, Morocco. They're posing a threat. France have got to be careful. Throw-in is taken. Amala is there, and as the challenge comes in on him, our sound effects microphones picked up the blood-curdling cry as he went to ground, and he got the free kick for it as well, Boufal. So it's a free kick out on the right.
Silly challenge from Hernandez. Right, Morocco momentum just before the break. French have really dealt convincingly with the last couple of corners. Free kick, this one wide out on that right-hand side. The left-footed Ziyech will take it.
This could be awkward. The angle is really good. He's standing off the pitch, one foot in front of the other. The Chelsea man, left-footed, plays it in. Oh, Lloris comes, gets a really good punch. There were lots of players in there, both French and Moroccan, and the goalkeeper went in there and got a good punch on it, but Amrabat's won a free kick centre field that Morocco looking to take quickly, just forward of the centre circle, Chris.
Yeah, Mbappe not happy with that because the French would have been away. Just seeing some jostling in the box.
Chouameni,
yeah.
On the 9.
Yeah, it's good goalkeeping from Lloris, wasn't it?
But again, I mean, that's a clear case of wrestling in the penalty area. Free kick, Ziyech plays it in at the stretch. Amala was trying to get there, but it's beyond him. And that's it. That is the half-time whistle. Well, interesting. Interesting. France leading by 1-0. Theo Hernandez with the early goal that was created by Griezmann. Morocco have had all sorts of problems to deal with, both in terms of the French play, but also having lost Aguerd before kick-off. Dari had to come in, and then losing Saiz after 20 minutes. So the two of their key defenders not involved in the game anymore. Went behind to that goal, Theo Hernandez. Giroud hit a post, had another good chance as well. But have caused the problem at the other end, Chris.
Yeah, I think Morocco finished the half the stronger team, hit the post, didn't they, from El Hamik? And look, I mean, what do we know? They're still in it going in at half-time. France should have been out of sight. You know, we've talked about, we feel that Morocco should have been awarded a penalty, baffled with that decision, but the French lead at half-time. So
here in Al Bayt, up in the north of Doha, France lead Morocco in the semi-final by 1-0 at half-time, and Mark Chapman's here with us.
They've given as good as they've got, Morocco, haven't they?
I think they finished the half strongly. I thought that the French were pretty much in total control, but the way they finished that half, I think they'll go in confident that they can hurt this French back line. I think they're maybe shell shocked with the nature of the goal. They've been so strong defensively throughout this tournament, and then the French missed a couple of chances. Giroud's been in great form in this tournament, hit the post, slightly unlucky with that one. Should have scored from one in and around the penalty spot where we whipped it just past Bono's right-hand post. But Morocco, I think, would have grown in confidence in the half and thought, you know what, we can cause this French back line one or two problems.
I think Chris has been negative again, to be honest. I thought Morocco was absolutely outstanding. I came here...
I did as well, Mike. I have to say, I'm with you on that.
And having watched Morocco's games, I thought it was going to be attack versus defence, and it was anything but. Morocco was on the front foot. They tried to get forward every time they got the ball. They started the actual game a lot higher up the pitch, which allowed them to be more involved in the game. It was interesting what France was doing, because they sort of started with a 4-3-3, but in possession they went to like a 3-4-3, 3-5-2 sort of thing, and Griezmann sort of deploying the number 10 but going wide when they're on the ball, and that was interesting. And obviously Morocco had the injury, so they had to change their formation, but it's been such an intriguing battle. I've absolutely loved this. Is one of my favourite games of the World Cup.
I would absolutely agree with you. I think it's been really entertaining, and this place is going to go berserk if Morocco score.
Oh, the crowd is brilliant, and every now and then, every game I've been to, I sort of take one of my earphones off and see the atmosphere, and the atmosphere has been absolutely electric. If there's a goal in this game, we're going to extra time, I'm telling you that, because the fans will be all the way with them. It's been... Chris, are we watching the same game, are we?
Well, I don't think so. I think France deserved to be in the lead. Morocco sort of huffed and puffed a bit of momentum towards the end of the half, but I think the French know that, it's certainly not game over yet, and that they probably will want the second one.
When a centre-half does an overhead kick from near the edge of the area and hits the post... Wow. It's a good, and also when the referee's refusing to give fouls and therefore the game's going at a greater pace, you're in a good game. Jules, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I have to say. The French are not playing as well as I wish they were. I think it's far too open, especially on that left-hand side, because Mbappé doesn't defend. And as we said in the build-up, the Rabiot not being there is a huge miss. Fofana is a good player, not at the level of Rabiot, and you see what they're missing by Rabiot not being there. So it's a bit too open for my liking. But I'll take the 1-0 lead at halftime.
Konate's played well though, Jules.
Yeah, really well. And we said before that for me he's better than Upamecano. And you saw Upamecano against Harry, against England. I like Konate a lot. He made a slightly mistake over there by the touchline near the corner flag when I think he had the ball, and then it was too easy for him to lose it again. But yeah, great talent.
Hakimi has caused problems, Mike, hasn't he, down that right? That right flank of Morocco has been able to exploit Rabiot not being there for the French.
Well, I think the fact that Kylian Mbappé, what a player, but defensively he's non-existent. I have to agree with Jules on that part. And every time Morocco go down that side, it's 2v1, and it's difficult for Hernandez. Tchouaméni's trying to get over there, Fofana's trying to get over there, but they're getting over there too late. We know Hernandez loves to get forward, which is leaving that space down that right-hand side. But I think Hakimi's been excellent. I think he's been their outlet. I think Amrabat's been brilliant in midfield. Every time he gets it, he looks forward for them to go on the counter-attack. And I think it's been really entertaining.
Unai looks the best player on the field to me.
Yeah, I don't know if John has mentioned the fact that Leicester are very, very keen right now on Asnin, and I think they could make an offer in January for him, like a really high offer. He's a great talent, and we talked about him the other day, I think, together, no? He was in the 3rd division in France 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And now to see him play so well at the World Cup, in the semi-final, in the quarter-final like he did, at such a young age, with very limited experience before, I think it's amazing.
It was a penalty, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah, I thought so. I wondered whether I'd missed something just before then for the foul to be given against Morocco and the yellow card. I thought Hernandez cleaned Boufal out. So, I mean, OK, well, I think we can understand the ref can miss it in real time, but what the hell are the VAR officials doing?
Jules?
I have to say, I didn't see the replay. I'm not doing Arsene
there's a
Wenger.
shot.
I'm not doing
There's a
my
shot.
Arsene Wenger impression.
Selective.
I need to see it again.
Arsene Laurent with us this evening. Micah?
No, Stonewall penalty. You know, Hernandez did very well getting the first goal up and down, but I can't understand how that is not a penalty. Like Chris said, they've got VAR. Just look. Take your time. There's a game with such magnitude, chappers.
He stops the ball with his left, doesn't he? I mean, so Hernandez gets the ball. He stops the ball with his left, but then the ball is further away from the two of them, and then Hernandez's momentum then takes him into Boufal.
Yeah, it's a blatant penalty. They've made a massive mistake there. I think because he got that touch initially, that's what might have put them off and think, oh, he's got the ball here. Anything after, we don't need to look at. But if you look at the replay again, he's took him out in the box. It should be a penalty.
Now Gary Flintoff,
they've
our
had some
producer.
luck over the years, haven't they, the French?
Well, everybody needs a bit of luck sometimes, don't they? Gary Flintoff, our producer, when Arsene Wenger used to say to him he hadn't seen it in a post-match interview, Gary didn't then get out his phone and show him a clip to then see his reaction. However, he's just done that with you, Jules.
Yeah, I think I need to see another angle. I could not see properly.
The final thing before we go to the news here is Regragui, when attacking, when Roman Saiz had to come off, he brought on an attacking midfielder and changed the shape.
Yeah, that's right. I think, to be fair, that they probably moved to a back five to protect Saiz. Because I don't think he would have been fit enough to play in the back four from the start. I liked as well the Aguerd on the team sheet as a distraction, because he was never going to play, and yeah, he was on the starting team. But yeah, after that you had to go back to 4, you 1-0 down, and you know you're a team that can cause problem to France on your right hand side, like we've been saying. So they're going to go even more for it, and I think that's Mounier warming up. I'm not so sure. So there might be another attacking change to come up at some point, but they have to go for it now. It's the semi-final of the World Cup. You can't be playing that well but not trying to go even more for it.
So, as you may be aware, we've had some very eclectic half-time entertainment during this World Cup. Chesley Hawkes, top loader we've had as well. They have, for the two semi-finals, they have picked reel to reel, and I like to move it. And he was very good last night at Lusail. He's given a slightly different outfit today. I did ask you, Micah, whether you knew reel to reel. You weren't sure, but then once I sang a bit of the song to you, nowhere near in this guy's league, then you knew what it was.
This is the halftime entertainment I wanted. We like to move it, chappers. Absolutely. He's poured a bit of timber though, hasn't he?
He's what?
He's poured a bit of timber since the last.
Well, we all do in middle age, Michael, let me tell you. He's not as young as he once was. You were a fan last night, John Murray. You were dancing to this last night, weren't you, just as a fan?
I'm just looking at it. I mean, those shoes are incredible.
Oh.
Aren't they? They're absolutely. I mean, they're glittering away. The most incredible pair of shoes he's got on.
And also tonight, his trouser legs are both rolled down. He got himself in an unfortunate position last night where one of his trouser legs rolled up and was by his knee, and the other one was on. And once you're into the moves where I like to move it, it's very hard to adjust your trousers.
I think they're diamond encrusted shoes that he's wearing tonight. Now that's top class, isn't it?
Well, we unfortunately have to break off from reel to reel to bring you the latest news. Second half on the way.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the 5 Live News, I'm Matthew Bone. A 6-year-old boy has become the 4th child to die after falling into an icy lake in Solihull at the weekend. An 8-year-old, a 10-year-old and 11-year-old had already been confirmed dead after they fell into the water at Babs Mill Park on Sunday. Refugee charities say the deaths of 4 people who drowned after their small boat capsized in the Channel this morning highlight the government's failure on migrant issues. Dozens of people were pulled out of the sea in a major rescue operation off the coast of Kent. Ministers say it's a tragic reminder of why the crossings need to be stopped. A man's been jailed for life for murdering the law graduate Zara Alina in East London in June. Jordan McSweeney, who's 29 and from Dagenham, will serve a minimum term of 38 years in prison. And the UK's rate of inflation slowed slightly last month, driven by less steep fuel price increases, but it remains close to a 40-year high, with food and drink prices continuing to soar.
Ho, ho, ho!
Find festive music mixes for every occasion on BBC Sounds. Like the ultimate Christmas disco sleigh list with me, Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Wrap presents like a pro with Radio 1's Happy Christmas.
Action!
And grab the popcorn for the ultimate Christmas movie mixtape.
Listen only on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Mark Chapman.
There's one WSL game tonight. Currently Tottenham 0, Everton 2 at half-time in that game. Here at the Al Bayt Stadium, it is France 1, Morocco 0. Waiting for the teams to come back out for the second half. Of course, the winners will play Argentina in the final. Micah Richards, Chris Sutton and John Murray all with us. Having seen these two for these 45 minutes, Chris, and Argentina last night, it's very difficult to pick a winner, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Argentina have been a strange team throughout this competition. They've been a team who have played in moments, even last night for the first 30 minutes or so. They were pretty average, weren't they? And then found a bit of form. France are just such a weird outfit, aren't they? They always seem to just do enough to win games, and they don't hit the levels which I think we all expect them to at times. And Morocco are just, they are depleted. They are, you think that a couple of centre-halves, their mainstay centre-halves, that they've had to change them. But we can talk about their character and resilience, but they've got some real quality, throughout the team in an attacking sense, and we're seeing that. And in many respects, as a game this evening, we needed an early goal, and it's the first time Morocco have gone behind in this tournament, and they are showing their worth. They're trying to take the game to the French, and let's get it right. Nobody's been really convinced about the French defensively this tournament, and Morocco do have to go for broke in the second half.
Micah won on Argentina last night as well.
No, I would agree with Chris, because we tend to always agree on most things, but I think what's gone under the radar with Argentina is how hard they work. They might not be the greatest on the eye, they don't play particularly great football all the times, but they've got that special man Messi with Alvarez runs in behind, what makes them very difficult to break down, and then they've got the quality on the other end. I think if France go through, France-Argentina is going to be a very, very entertaining game. Yeah, Messi versus Mbappe.
And did you enjoy?
Aren't they, Argentina? I mean, they are. Can we say dirty? Can we say that?
No, we can't do that.
No, you can't say that.
Scrappers, they're on the edge. They'd sort of do anything to win. I was at the Dutch game, when Paredes booted you enjoyed that even. You don't enjoy much, but you enjoyed that when he booted the ball into the Dutch dugout, and it all kicked off, didn't it?
Just occasionally, the petty side of things makes me laugh a lot. You were at the game as a fan, of course, John, as we heard during commentary. So you must have enjoyed it, and you had your pre-match Nando's as well.
I was there in an observational capacity, working at the match. That's what I was doing, preparing for the weekend. So, second half underway in this second semi-final. France leading Morocco by 1-0. And Morocco have, I guess, Chris, had to make another change, because the Bayern Munich left back or right back, Mazraoui, playing as a left back in this game, he's off at half-time. He's had a hip injury. So Yahia Atiat Allah has come on to replace him. So another of the The experienced men who play for the top clubs, has been lost to them here.
Atia Allo, really impressive against Portugal. Actually got forward to really good effect and crossed the ball in for En-Nesyri for his tremendous header. So, it gives them good balance on that left-hand side. But we know what Morocco need to do. I think throughout this tournament, they've sat back in and tried to counter. It will have to be a different Moroccan team, and they'll have to take the game to the French. And then, can the French get a knockout punch?
The French, as they started the match with Lloris in goal, Koundé, Varane, Konaté and Hernandez, Tchouameni and Fofana, Dembele, Griezmann, Mbappe and Giroud. The goal scored by Theo Hernandez in the 5th minute of the match. Here's Tchouameni, but he loses balance centre field, so Morocco playing from left to right in the second half, bring it forward with En-Nesyri, but France have been able to win it back, and it's played square by Griezmann, and now Hernandez, and Mbappe runs away and gets away from Hakimi, and Mbappe now, but Amrabat comes across, Mbappe is round him as well, into the penalty area, pulls it back, but at pace. However, it's come to Koundé, and Koundé's shot is blocked inside the penalty area and cleared out on the far side for a throw-in down the right-hand side by Amala.
Yeah, is there a better sight in world football than Mbappe running at that speed? It was a terrible decision from Hakimi, who went to ground, dived in, and Mbappe driving towards the Moroccan goal on that left-hand side. Little step over, threw his right leg over the ball, went on the outside of Amrabat, not far away with the cross.
I don't think there is, Chris. I think it is one of the wonders of the game, as it is at the moment, to watch him in full flight. Hakimi left on the ground, and Amrabat, he just rounded him, and that's a lovely ball. Griezmann playing it through. Oh, Mbappe! After it on the edge of the box, he was shoulder to shoulder with the defender. He went down. It was Hakimi who was there with him, and I think there was a collision actually with goalkeeper Bono as well. As he came out, I think Mbappe sliding through has clattered into Bono on the ground.
There's danger for Morocco. It's a brilliant reverse pass from Tchouameni into Griezmann. Griezmann and gets the ball on the half turn and slides a beautifully weighted pass, left-footed into Mbappe. Got on the inside of Hakimi, who just uses his body enough to put Mbappe off. Bono off his line quickly. Mbappe slides into him. Cagey from Hakimi.
It's a good contest that, wasn't it? Hakimi and Mbappe really enjoyed that race that we saw the other night with Walker and Mbappe. That Mbappe got the better of around the outside. France leading Morocco by 1 goal to 0, 3 minutes played in the second half.
I think I was part of that first game when Mbappe made a run. I didn't know they could do this, and up on the screen they put that Mbappe was up to 35 kilometres an hour.
They did that in the match I saw, the Denmark match as well. They put it as Unahi combining on the right-hand side with Ziyech, but France are able to deal with that. Hernandez turns and puts it out of play. Well, that's actually kept in by Hakimi against Mbappe, and Hakimi's ball to the edge of the box, flicked away by the heel of Tchouameni. Dembele didn't get it away, and Atiaz Allah is onto this, but gives it back to Amrabat near our halfway line. So France 1-0 up. This is a genuinely atmospheric match at this World Cup. Huge numbers of Moroccan supporters inside the ground. Ziyech now. Ziyech takes it on, right-footed ball, it's cleared away by Konaté on the edge of the 6-yard box, and then Mbappe goes down, claiming he was shoved in the back by Dari. Nothing doing for that. He was waving his hand, maybe a pointed finger at the referee, but referee's not interested. Unahi then couldn't find the pass forward, bounces back to Amrabat. This is good for Morocco. Back into the centre circle. El Yamik. It's El Yamik who had the overhead kick that hit the post towards the end of the first half. Now on the right-hand side, Ziyech. Oh, lovely with Hakimi. And Hakimi's attempted cross hits Konaté, bounces down. And Mbappe now has it. Halfway inside his own half. Plays it down the left wing. Amrabat He's away from Amrabat. Defender Dari slides in. Mbappe's still going. Amrabat comes back, puts in the challenge and takes the ball. Well, you might have thought that Amrabat was beaten and left for dead there, but not so. He got up, chased Mbappe and put in the tackle on the edge of the penalty area.
Oh, it was brilliant from Amrabat, it really was. Because once Mbappe gets a run on anybody, they normally finish. And it was a great run, wasn't it, from Mbappe from deep inside his own half on the touchline. Just turned it into a foot race, and then he's still down Mbappe, but Amrabat, I think, has had a brilliant tournament, one of the players of the tournament. Just gets back, and it's a strong challenge. And if you're a French supporter, that's Mbappe down now for...
Well, he's receiving treatment.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
After Amrabat slid in on him, took the ball. There was a leap into the air from Mbappe. He's lying on his back. He's just next to the dead ball line. There are two French physios working on him and trying to establish the extent of this. This would be a massive moment if this is a problem for Mbappe. I'm not entirely sure it is in terms of being terminal for this match. And obviously so many people now are looking forward to the prospect of Mbappe and Messi in Lusail on Sunday. Meanwhile, all the time, the Moroccan fans are doing do we call it the Moroccan thunderclap? That's what they're doing anyway, and really enjoying themselves. And Mbappe, as play resumes, Mbappe is not back on the field yet. He's walking quite gingerly up from the corner flag. So France currently playing with 10 men. Didier Deschamps wanders forward with his arms tightly crossed. That's not great body language from the French coach. And now Ziyech on the right-hand side. And then the cross from the right. It's gone a long way. Oh, the shot is missed by Atiat Allah, who is arriving on the far side of the penalty area. It bounced awkwardly for him, actually. So he wasn't able to get anything of...
Big chance shot.
Yeah.
It really is. It's good play from Boufal to get the cross in.
Mbappe is back on the field. Ball is played through. Atiat Allah on the left side of the penalty area. Cuts back, plays it across. Konate crucially slid in the 6-yard area. And then the shot from Amrabat, which is a bit of a mishit effort from 25 yards that bounces well wide. Big problems being caused by Morocco for the French, who are just about holding out now.
Yeah, what a brilliant run from Atiat Allah on that left-hand side. Got him behind Koundé. The ball slipped on Koundé's inside, and he feeds the ball across. And I've got to say, he's had such a strong game, hasn't he, Konate? 2 or 3 yards from his own goal, middle of the box, makes a crucial clearance. You just sense us ramping up in here. Something is going to give.
France 1, Morocco 0. BBC Radio 5 Live. Take us with you as well on BBC Sounds. We're across Africa on the World Service as Varane heads the ball away. And then Giroud challenges for it. And the ball bounces out of play on the far side off the Frenchman for a throw-in to Morocco. Match on BBC One tonight as well if you're on your way home. Steve Wilson and Danny Murphy with the commentary on BBC One, so watch it there or on the iPlayer. But also you can listen to the 5 Live radio commentary if you prefer, synced up with the pictures on World Cup Extra, which is a special feature for the World Cup. So here is Ziyech. Ziyech to the right, touch from Hakimi. And now Onahi. But Onahi's gone down, he's challenged by Fofana, and that is not a free kick, and France are able to clear it away downfield.
And the French, they cannot get out at this moment in time. It's wave after wave, isn't it? Moroccan attacks.
I think Julien Laurent at half-time was right. You know, Rabiot has been a big miss for them in this match. He's out, he's not very well. Same for Upamecano. So Fofana's come in to play in that midfield role that Rabiot was playing. Ziyech, who's been really bright actually, and then importantly Koundé steps forward, and then it bounces away off Tchouaméni out of play for a throw-in on the far side for the French.
Yeah, they built up a really good head of steam, didn't they, Morocco, in the last 10 minutes of the first half, and they've carried it on. in this second half. The ball just going into Giroud. He needs to make it stick for the French. Hasn't done that.
Giroud battling for it again. The ball's out of play. It's a Moroccan throw. Though you did say, Chris, that they might rue those chances that they had in the first half. Giroud hitting the post, the big chance from between the penalty spot and the edge of the area. Varane with an opportunity late in the first period. But now it is Morocco coming forward again. Hakimi. And then Ziyech to Hakimi. Unahi is there as well. Unahi allows this to run. Ziyech back to Unahi inside the penalty area. Lots of blue shirts in there. Turn from Hakimi, but Griezmann comes in and arrives on the scene for the French. And Mbappe away seems to be okay, although he's down on the ground again after losing out this time. Ball's played to Ziyech on the right flank. Ziyech takes on Hernandez and the ball runs away. They're both claiming that it was the final touch from the other man. Referee Ramos says final touch of Ziyech, goal kick.
Yeah, Hernandez struggling to cope with Ziyech in those 1v1 situations as the ball popped out. Lovely pass from Amrabat outright again. And Ziyech, rather than come inside on his favoured left foot, given Hernandez something to think about, driving the outside, but on occasion Morocco not getting the corner, but Mbappe down.
Down again, and it was Dari this time, the central defender, whose challenge has left Mbappe on the ground, sitting on his backside. He's leaning up.
He's got a broken shoelace, John. Drama.
Do you think he might still be okay for the final if France get through? But I think Didier Deschamps is actually going to make a change here. Now, is that going to be it? Is that going to be the end of the night for Mbappe? He's running towards this side of the field, but there's a member of the staff just coming forward. They've actually got another boot to fix that problem with the shoelace, Chris.
So not like the old days, John, where they'd have had to patch that one up. Is that a golden boot? Just put onto his left foot, but they are going to make a change by the looks of it, the French, but it can't be Mbappe.
No, a nation breathes a sigh of relief. The shoelace has been fixed and Mbappe will play on. Now the ball is through the middle with an overhead pass from centre field from Fofana. That just runs away through, and it is a goal kick to Morocco, who are enjoying the better of things at the moment. Morocco.
They are, but I mean, I said at half-time, the French are a strange team. World champions, they don't really like to dominate the ball in games, and there's Morocco, who, you look at their possession stats throughout the tournament, they have been a counter-attack team, haven't they? But they're taking the game to the French, pushing the French back.
Morocco, according to the screen to my left, have got 50% possession control at the moment, otherwise known as 59.2% possession. Morocco playing back into...
You can explain that to me on the drive back, John.
Well, I've been asking my summarisers all through this World Cup, Chris, about it, and I thought of all of the summarisers, who would come up with the answer and work that one out? It would be Chris Sutton. Morocco come again on the right-hand side, and just stepped in by Tchouameni to win it back for France as the cross comes over from Boufal. And France then played forward. Giroud to Mbappe. Mbappe back onto his right foot. Square to Griezmann. Left foot shot from Griezmann. Big deflection, but that took it wide of goal. And in any case,
I think this is infuriating. I think for fans in the stadium, the Moroccan team, because he was clearly offside. Mbappe shouldn't be offside. Hanging out in that left-hand channel. Looks across the line, runs too early.
Morocco back in possession. Boufal with the ball back into his own half. Boufal, who plays in France for Angers, who are actually currently bottom of the French league, Angers. But here, him and his team are causing problems, even though France lead by 1-0.
Look how high up Hakimi's playing, the Moroccan right back in the inside channel. Ziyech comes wide. See Boufal on the drift from the left inside.
Crossfield. pass from Dari, but that's cut out by Koundé. Now Griezmann gets away, but then just cuts back and is caught by Atiat Allah. So that's a free kick, just a little trip and a free kick. And actually France will very happily just slow things down here, break up the play, and stop Morocco getting the kind of momentum that they've built up at times in the second half.
You're absolutely right. Griezmann in no rush to get up. They haven't got a foothold, France, at all in this second half.
It's a continuation, really, of what we saw in the latter stage of the first period. Griezmann now, after France took that free kick, but Amrabat went the full 360 degrees twice there to get away from Griezmann. And then it's out of play to throw into Morocco. They are all hustle and bustle. They are all urgency. Walid Regragui, the coach, in his white trainers, just like Gianni Infantino up in the stands, sitting next to President Macron. Must be an uncomfortable watch this for the French president, as Morocco play it down into the full-back position. Hernandez is able to put in the cross and stops the ball in the quadrant and chips it away. But that's back to the mainly red shirts of Morocco, with the green trim, green shorts, white socks. Hakimi now on the right-hand side, comes back in, just stabs it back to the halfway line, away from Giroud. So Dari, square to El Yamik, and then Amrabat drops towards the centre circle again. Dari, now to the right-hand side, and taken on promisingly by Boufal, who goes round the outside and pulls it back, but Griezmann's there inside his own penalty area as well. He's covered some ground, Griezmann. He's very often there in the penalty area as the extra man, and he's very often there as the man who breaks forward. But it is Morocco who again are asking questions of this French side. The holders, 1-0 up, but on the back foot in the second half. Square, Dari to the right to Hakimi. Hernandez just forces him to give it back to the number 8, Onahi. And now Ziyech, left-footed cross from the right. That's headed down and away by Varane. And then Mbappe eventually gets that bouncing ball down. Tries to go around the outside, and then the covering challenge from Onahi, who slides in and puts it out of play for a throw-in to the French just inside Moroccan territory. They're not offering a great deal at the moment, are they, the French?
No, they're not. They're hanging on in there. The Moroccan team taking the game to France, pushing them back, testing that French backline, who have held strong, held firm so far, but looking a menace, aren't they? Boufal has been prominent, Ziyech in this second half.
The whistles, because the French in possession. You might have just faintly been able to pick out a little chorus of Allez le Bleu in the middle of that, but totally drowned out. Long pass from Konate, Griezmann though, to Dembele. Dembele with the crosser behind Giroud. Mbappe wasn't in there either. So Hakimi was able to say thank you very much, and Morocco bring it away from deep inside their own half. More warm applause. You can see a half moon, a desert moon, slightly pinkish up there in the black skies of the Gulf through the open roof of this stadium, with Amrabat giving it short to Boufal, who takes it on, tried to play it to the left. He's suggesting that it got a deflection, but it's a French throw.
He's a fiery character, isn't he, Boufal? Speaking to Micah earlier about him, watching him play at Southampton, temperamental. 1 week he would be absolutely brilliant, and then the next week he'd go missing. Playing with confidence and a zip and a zest, looking a threat, drifting here, there and everywhere for Morocco.
Well, France have made a change, but it's Olivier Giroud who is substituted. So the number 9 is off, the record scorer, and it is Marcus Thuram. We were talking about Lillian in the first half, weren't we? Well, his son Marcus comes on, another substitute appearance at this World Cup. So it looks as though Mbappe through the middle, and here is Marcus Thuram now down the left-hand side. Thuram then runs into Hakimi, but there is cover there as well from Ziyech. Thuram still persistent, but the ball's bounced behind, and it is a goal kick to Morocco.
Yeah, and Mbappe has gone into that central striking position. Yeah, I just wonder that decision whether, I don't think Olivier Giroud had an injury at all as Morocco made the substitution.
Morocco also making a double change, actually. They're going to bring on the number 9, Hamdallah, and also Abouklal, the Toulouse player, so another French-based player, the number 14 coming on, and Naziri making way for Hamdallah, and the other player to come off is Boufal. So that's it for Boufal, who was on a yellow card, I suppose, but even so, double change from the Moroccan coach. So that is now, he's made 4 changes now, having had to take Saiss off in the first half, taking off Mazraoui at half-time, which I guess he probably had to do as well, because he wasn't fully fit. And they're still in this. 1-0 France lead. Ziyech, more centrally this time. Left-footed ball. Varane threw himself into that. Cross comes over from the left-hand side from Atiat Allah, but Lloris is able to dive forward and catch the ball.
And it was Abouklal. It was a little bit too high for him, the cross. He's gone out to that left-hand side. Boufal was positioned for Morocco. I'm surprised at that substitution, though. Boufal had looked a threat all evening. The central striker changed, Hamdallah coming on, and Naziri really starved of service.
Yes, so the throw-in for France down the left-hand side. Thuram gets it down, but it's very tight there. There are 2 Moroccan players with him. And then Thuram goes down. Challenge came in on him. That is given as a free kick. Hakimi just put in the challenge. Down he went, free kick near the corner flag on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and this suits France. As the game starts getting disrupted, lots of fouls. We can break it up. Have we had a yellow card yet, John?
Yeah, we have. Boufal. That's it. So Griezmann comes across to take this. Thuram is okay. There's no Giroud now in the middle, but Varane has, I noticed, wandered up and put himself right at the far side of the 6-yard box. Bono is organising things. Absolute gain in here with the whistles. In comes the free kick. Konate was after it. Bounces down for Koundé. Now to the right-hand side. Mbappe onto his left foot, shoots. Hits a defender. Headed forward, but nodded away on the edge of the box by El Yamik. And the referee spotted. In fact, it's an offside flag on the far side, and it's a free kick to Morocco. Looked dangerous there when it opened up for Mbappe.
Oh, it did. It was a tremendous block. Koundé, it was initially, looked like he was going to shoot right-hand side of the box from 25 yards, but shifted the ball and played it to Mbappe, who I think was in an offside position. He got the shot off, but crucial block.
France coming forward again, this time on the right-hand side. Dembele though showed too much of it to Amala, and Amala was able just to nip it away from him, and Morocco have got it back on the edge of their own penalty area again. So 1-0 France lead. 20 minutes to go. France, who have yet to keep a clean sheet at this World Cup. And Morocco have been knocking on the door. Here is Hamdallah just into the action, the substitute, the number 9. Thuram, as the ball bounces away for France. Thuram gets there first, and Thuram is bundled over, shoved over by Dari. He got away from him, and Dari then trying to sort of check him, just shoved him over. And I'll be very surprised if that's not a yellow card.
It doesn't look that way.
I think I might be very surprised.
Yeah. Dari was like a doorman throwing someone out of a nightclub there, wasn't he? Takes Thuram down. I mean, that's ridiculous. How is a card
I'm officially very surprised.
That's outrageous,
well,
referee.
Compared to some of the matches. Anyway, it's not a yellow card. It's a free kick though, and this is a good position. And I've seen Griezmann put balls in from this sort of area in this World Cup, which have caused real problems for teams. Griezmann waiting, hands on his hips.
Just looking at Bono's starting position, he needs to be a little bit careful. Griezmann has the ball position.
Yeah. Griezmann is very pointedly looking across the box, not at the goal. Bono is standing well away from his near post. Griezmann curls it into the back post. It's headed down beyond that far post. Looks as though it was
Thuram, yeah, it was. What a ball from Griezmann. Left-footed, lovely left foot. Lazy left foot, just clipped beautifully to the far post. Thuram gets up well. Doesn't hit the target. That's a chance. Big chance. Spoke about the French in the first half. Not taking their opportunities. Will Morocco make them pay?
France are still on track for the World Cup final, second consecutive World Cup final. But this is a precarious lead that they've got now. They've had a better few moments after Morocco caused big problems early on in the second half. And Griezmann, I mean, he's been brilliant again tonight, Griezmann, in so many areas of the field. And here he's won another free kick for his team 10 yards inside the French half.
He has been good, and I just wonder whether the Moroccan substitutions at this moment in time, Hamdallah, Abou Klal, haven't really made that much of an impact. When Boufal looked like he was in pretty decent form in this second half, of course the French back line some problems.
So France 1, Morocco 0 in this second World Cup semi-final. Something rather different tomorrow night, in that we have commentary tomorrow night, tomorrow night on Rangers against Hibernian in the Premiership in Scotland, as the Premiership returns with Rangers under the new management of Michael Beale. So you'll hear that this time tomorrow on 5 Live. France 1-0 up here as Amrabat turns, plays it to the left-hand side. Atiatollah winning a throw-in off Dembele.
Just lost the way a little bit, haven't they? Last 5 or so minutes, 17 minutes of normal time left. You never know how long is going to be played in extra time, but they create something, gather that momentum again.
As France win the ball back on the halfway line, it's Fofana who's taking it forward and giving it to Thuram. Morocco quickly back into position. Thuram's worked it across. Still Fofana, who shoots wildly wide inside the penalty area on the left-hand side. Lack conviction, really. Goal kick.
Really weak effort. And here come Morocco marauding forward.
Yes, with the special ball for the semi-finals, the golden ball. And Morocco with Hakimi with support here from Unahi, and then again, but Konate steps in against Ziyech. Cross from Unahi. Oh, big stretch from Varane, had to get there, did get there. Griezmann then, and the referee spotting an infringement and given a free kick against Morocco. I think that was for the challenge on Griezmann. Free kick just in front of the penalty area. So we've got just over 15 minutes to play, and Morocco are going to make what will be their 5th change of the 90 minutes. So preparing himself down there on the edge of the coaching area. It's the exciting 20-year-old Ezal Zuli who's waiting to come on, the Barcelona man on loan at Osasuna, and he's got the left arm of Walid Regragui round his shoulder, and next time the ball's out of play, Ezal Zuli will be coming on. But France with it halfway inside their own half. Oh, Tchouameni's in danger of losing possession. He's been robbed of the ball, and it's been taken on into the penalty area by Hamdallah, who couldn't get the shot in. Ball still in play though. Cross from the left-hand side from Abou Klal. That's blocked. Back to Atiatollah on the left-hand side. Griezmann's gone there with him near the corner flag. Griezmann puts in the challenge, and then it bounces away And Hamdallah opened up from inside the penalty area, couldn't get the shot on goal.
Oh, hopeless from Hamdallah. Had the opportunity to get a shot off, at least on a couple of occasions, trying to walk the ball in. Opportunity gone. Are they going to get a better chance than that, Morocco?
Careless from Tchouameni, or well done Morocco, probably we should say, for dispossessing him 30 yards from his own goal. The noise inside this place. I think I'm going to be hearing this whistling until the World Cup final on Sunday afternoon. Can you just imagine seeing what it's like inside this stadium, what it's like back in Morocco? The first World Cup semi-final, desperate for their team to come up with this goal, maybe take it to extra time and then see what happens, whether they're in Casablanca or Rabat or Fez or wherever it happens to be. Have you been to Morocco, Chris, at all?
No, never been to Morocco.
Might have been one of your destinations. So it is the Moroccans bringing it forward. Up to the halfway line. Unahi, as Julian said, L'Equipe have been reporting today that there's strong interest from Leicester City in Azdine Unahi, the Moroccan midfielder.
I've liked the look of him throughout this tournament, can handle the ball. Aren't they? Good dribbler.
Amrabat plays it out to the left-hand side. Bounces infield, incidentally, as Al-Zouli still waiting to come on the side of the pitch. But here's Hadjiatala down the left-hand side. Hamdallah is onto this inside the penalty area, works the ball across, but that's going nowhere. Just stabs it straight behind into the side, outside net and for a goal kick. And here's the change. And it will be the substitute who's being substituted, the first man who came on, Amala, who is making way. So this was early on in the match, 20 minutes, when Saiz had to go off and they brought on the midfielder, and now he's making way for the number 16, who is 21 on Saturday, the day before the World Cup final, the winger, who is Spanish raised, and he is taking a position on the left-hand side, but also France making a change with Dembele coming off, who's not had a huge influence on the game tonight, Dembele, and replacing him is Kolo Muani of Eintracht Frankfurt, the number 12, who will go across to take up the position that Dembele was playing in. So we've got, what, 11 minutes plus added time to play. Argentina coasted through really last night, getting the two early goals, but tonight France, having got one early goal themselves, have had to really work for it. Fofana bring it forward. Here's Mbappe. Mbappe turns, gives it to Thuram. Thuram, packed penalty area, back to Mbappe. Oh, beat Amrabat. Brilliant footwork. Still going. It's swerved across, and then it's put into the net. It's the second goal for France, and it's Muani who's just come on, who just popped it in from a couple of yards out. That could well have broken Moroccan hearts here in the semi-final. Almost his first touch, might well have been his first touch at the semi-final. And France now lead Morocco by 2-0, and it looks like they are bound for the final, but it's been tough.
I think it was Mouani's first touch. It was a really careless pass in the middle of the park from Morocco. And then France just break. The ball's popped out to Mbappe, left-hand side. He feeds the ball forward to Thuram, who pops the ball back, and he jinks inside. The Moroccan defender tries to feed a shot into the far corner. It takes a deflection and falls perfectly for Mouani. He can't miss 2 yards. That's pretty much game over. Brilliant feat from Mbappe. Drives inside Amrabat, and he's always trying to get the ball on that right foot and find the far corner. And France get the break they needed. That deflection. Deschamps off the bench. He's happy. He knows that that's more than likely game over.
France 2, Morocco 0. happier that Morocco's first appearance in a World Cup semi-final, the first African team to play in a World Cup semi-final, that it will go no further, and it'll be the third place playoff against Croatia on Saturday afternoon that Morocco will play next. And also this would be the first defeat under their new coach, Walid Regragui, in his 105th day in charge. Amazing story. Morocco not finished yet though. Ball on the edge of the penalty area, but it's turned and cleared away by Tchouameni. Now this is going to take something phenomenal now for Morocco to take this beyond the 90 minutes and added time. Griezmann on the stretch, he's been fouled, and it's a free kick to France, 15 yards inside their own half. So Kolo Muani, his first goal for France comes in a World Cup semi-final, and probably the clincher.
He couldn't believe his luck, really, as the build-up play was down that left-hand side, wasn't it? And then watching Mbappe jink on the inside, gets his shot off. It couldn't have fallen any more perfectly for him.
As Mbappe is onto this ball that was headed into his path by Hakimi, and the two of them, the two friends from Paris Saint-Germain, are now tussling for it in the full-back position. And France go back towards the halfway line. And to go back to Muani, as I say, playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, having been signed from Nantes last summer. It's quite a story. First called up in September, so wasn't even in this squad until Christopher Nkunku picked up that injury, so a late replacement. Played against Tunisia. Now he's come on as a substitute in the semi-final, and perhaps scored the goal that has clinched it for Didier Deschamps' team.
We forget, don't we, about all the injuries that France had before this competition. A lot of big hitters, high-profile players out. We know Benzema, of course. Kante, Pogba, Kimpembe, Nkunku, lost Rabiot. And they still have strength and depth.
Yeah, not forgetting the golden ball, the Ballon d'Or winner himself as well, Benzema, who was in the squad. And Amrabat now with a crossfield pass that he's got wrong. He slaps his hands together in frustration.
They've lost the way though. I think the substitutions from Morocco actually have disrupted their rhythm. I thought they started the second half absolutely superbly. You can understand in many respects Regragui the gamble which he felt he needed to take. It has to be a foul on
it's given against Konate, who seemed to be initially wrestled, then wrestled back, and it's been given Morocco's way.
Well, they have to score from this. Morocco. Ziyech has a lovely left foot, a luscious left foot. Can he create something from this?
That's Chris Sutton with us on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, on the World Service as well across Africa. That Africa will be hoping against hope that this Morocco team can pull something out of the bag. And at the moment,
a scuffle in there.
The only thing that's happening is that there are just pushing and shoving on the edge of the French penalty area. Varane's actually been called out by the referee.
Unique it is. He's lost his head a little bit there.
Number 18, El Yamik. So the referee's spoken to them. No yellow cards, obviously. And Ziyech will take this free kick, left-footed, from the right flank. And it goes, Griezmann's underneath it and heads it back to where it came. Stretching header away from goal scorer Muani. Just the sort of opportunity that you want. Fell to him after the brilliant run from Mbappe. I mean, there are assists and assists, aren't there? But that was...
Couldn't miss. I mean, no. the pace was taken off the ball by the Moroccan defender Mbappe. His initial shot, it fell beautifully. What a moment for him. Just popping that one in. Pretty much game over. Regragui did liken this Moroccan team to Rocky Balboa, John.
Yes, it did. Yes. Well, they're right on the ropes now. Still, they are coming forward with the ball over on the left-hand side. Mbappe with the assist, but he hasn't got on the score sheet tonight, so as the cross comes over from the left-hand side, a stretching header, actually just glances it right across to Ziyech in the box here on the right-hand side. Ziyech plays it between the legs of Thuram, but it didn't get a touch off him, and it's through and behind for a goal kick. And we've now got, well, just over 4 minutes plus added time to play before France confirm their place in the World Cup final again.
Yeah, and we talked about the Moroccan substitutions not working. I think Thuram has been a good substitution for Didier Deschamps on this left-hand side. Mbappe's gone in as a central striker, but it's been a good outlet on the left, and he's defended well. Actually tracks back, something Mbappe doesn't do.
So it looks as though we will get Messi and Mbappe on opposite sides in the World Cup final. And also with Mbappe not scoring tonight, level on 5 goals each at this tournament. Here is Ziyech, who was tripped. It was a foul. Yes, it was. Whoever said that down there. It's a free kick. Ziyech will have this. But in fact, Thuram's holding on to the ball, so Amrabat goes and tries to get it back from him.
Is there going to be a card?
No, there's not, Chris. No.
Do you think he has a card in his pocket?
Unless he gave it to Buffon when he showed it to him in the first half. Here's Hakimi now down the right. Hernandez holds him up. The ball was over the line, says the assistant, flagging. He doesn't like it, Hakimi, but it's a goal kick. And Hernandez is just shepherding him away. There'll be great disappointment, of course, for Morocco if they're not able to produce another miracle. It's already been a miracle what they've done here in the eyes of many. So there'll be great disappointment that they haven't been able to take that final step. But I'm sure in the aftermath of that, we'll see some great scenes inside this ground for what they have been able to do. And I'm sure Hakimi's mother will be involved again, won't she? Goal kick, downfield from Lloris. Hakimi flicks it infield. Dari, now Amrabat with that shaven head, flicks it to his left. Pass forward to Atiatala. And then Griezmann steps in for the umpteenth time. Griezmann in the right place at the right time. And France have got possession back again. 2 minutes of the 90 to go. And France are nearing, with every second that passes by, a second consecutive World Cup final. Griezmann stabs it out to the right-hand side to Mouani. Mouani looks behind him. Koundé is there. Koundé uses Tchouaméni, and France go back to the halfway line.
Yeah, Koundé does a steady job, doesn't he, in that French right-back position. He's not one, he's a centre-half by trade, he's not one who overlaps and gets forward, just plays as a back support. Deschamps not having Benjamin Pavard, really.
No. This is all down to, as Julien was telling us, as he mentioned a couple of times during the tournament, the fact that Dembele prefers Koundé as the right back who's playing behind him.
I always wonder how Pavard would feel about that.
Not necessarily be delighted, would you? If you're Pavard. 2-0 France lead. Here's Amrabat, who plays it out towards the left-hand side. But France have dropped back into position and are looking here for what would be their first clean sheet of this World Cup. As it's played through into the penalty area, and a shot from the angle.
It's offside, those gone early.
The offside flag is up.
Abou Klal just made the movement, the French back four sitting really deep on the edge of their own box, but I don't know, at the start of this second half you felt it was going to happen for Morocco, but that French second goal has really knocked the stuffing and belief out of this Moroccan team, who have performed so valiantly, so bravely throughout this competition. It's not going to happen for them this evening.
But Morocco still come forward. Ziyech, but Hernandez with a little shove on Ziyech, makes sure the ball rolls over the white line, and it's a throw into the French. And we've got 6 minutes of added time, so technically plenty of time to score a couple of goals, but I'm afraid the body language, watching from here inside the stadium, the body language tells you otherwise. So it's going to be a 4th World Cup final for France after Paris in '98, memorably their own World Cup, and then Berlin in 2006, the defeat on penalties against Italy, Zinedine Zidane and all that, and then 4 years ago in Moscow against Croatia in that entertaining final. And there's everything to suggest that on Sunday Argentina against France, I mean, it's been a strange World Cup, an odd experience, but that's a proper World Cup final. However, let's talk about that later, because Morocco are still coming forward. They've not given this up yet. Atiat Allah on the left can't get there, and it's out of play, and it's a throw into France.
They've just really lacked that quality. That important pass in the final third. And even the great Moroccan fans in this stadium tonight seem to have lost a bit of heart. We can hear the French fans' voices.
Oh, that's bounced off Hakimi, and it's bounced for France. Thuram. Oh, lovely from Mbappe, beats Amrabat. Now Mbappe up to the edge of the penalty area, bursts into the box. Oh, excellent challenge from Hakimi against his Paris Saint-Germain friend. He went to ground and he whipped the ball off the toe of Mbappe inside the Moroccan penalty area. Well done, Hakimi.
That's been a really intriguing contest, hasn't it? Head-to-head, two teammates. Little nutmeg on Amrabat, middle of the pitch, and he drives the box, tries to knock it round. Hakimi, to his credit, gets back. France clearing through Hernandez into the Moroccan half, where it's chested down by Dari, and now Amrabat. He's been involved in some tussles with Mbappe as well here tonight. Great memories, but it's going to be a losing experience, I think. Ziyech on the right in the full-back position. Ziyech, there's it back. Amrabat's cross towards the penalty spot, comes off Griezmann's head, bounces down for the shot from Aboukhlal, and then bounces way to the edge of the penalty area. Unai turns and shoots, but it's taken a flick off the defender, off Fofana, and it's a corner to Morocco from the right. Yeah, was that Griezmann back, making the block? What a block! Inside his own box. The French 2 up, were into extra time, but that was crucial.
Corner is taken, Amrabat gets it, plays it in, it's headed down and away. Unai with the shot, that's blocked also by a French body inside the penalty area. Konate, I think it was. And France have been able to clear it away downfield, where it's headed back to Bono. And the goalkeeper gets the ball under control and gives it to the substitute, Al-Zouli, who's still going as Al-Zouli into the penalty area, still going as well, up towards Lloris, and then cleared out, but this could be the chance for the goal. That's deflected across the box, Unai, and then in the 6-yard box, Hamdallah couldn't force it over the line, blocked by Lloris, and that French goal escapes again.
Oh, how lucky were the French then. What a run on the left-hand side. There's Al-Zouli, just kept driving, picked the ball up on the halfway line, and kept going and going, gets to the byline, pulls it back, and there's a massive scramble. Looks like the ball is going in. Is it Koundé on the line?
Good question.
I think it was. Didn't know anything about it.
Morocco again, with the ball over the top. Varane gets in to make the header, and the whistle's gone. The offside flag has come up as well, whether the danger there was from a high foot also, but it's a free kick to the French, and high fives all round, and it is still 2-0 to the French.
Yeah, but it's just not their night. The Moroccans. Yes, a strike which comes in as off Hamdallah's knee, and it is Koundé on the line, who knows absolutely nothing about that. It's Didier Deschamps, it's his night, it's the French team's night, and stuff like that happens.
And this is mutual appreciation going on here inside the ground. The French tricolours are waving to our left, and they're in joyous mood, preparing for another World Cup final. But the Moroccan fans are giving a big thank you to this team. They're applauding, they're singing. I notice as well on the bench down there, many of the coaches are actually just got up and applauded the crowd as well for what they did just then. They know the game is up, but what a game it's been. We've got, we're well into added time now. We're in the final minute of added time. And Morocco, with Amrabat, falls over, concedes the free kick, so France will have this free kick. Chouameni looks towards the referee. Well, what a contest it's been. Certainly not, as people might look at the scoreline when they see it tonight or in the morning and think, well, 2-0, France got through, must have been easy enough. And there is the final whistle, but that's not been the case. And the French celebrations there, the substitutes come running on, but the Moroccan players drop to the turf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, 8 of them now flat on the ground. The effort that they've put in here tonight. World Cup semi-final, it was all on the line. France have won it with the early goal from Theo Hernandez and then the clincher from the substitute Kolo Muani. But what a night for Morocco. What a night. Great story. It is still the same old story. The fundamental things apply and France are through. But Morocco, you just have to praise them. What a tournament, what a World Cup, a semi-final. They'll have the third place playoff on Saturday against Croatia. But what they've done under their coach, Walid Regragui, I mean, he will go down in Moroccan folklore for what this team has done at this World Cup in Qatar. But that's it, there'll be no final for them. And France are through to a second successive World Cup final. The holders against Argentina. Chris Sutton.
Oh, absolutely, you feel for Morocco. The story of this World Cup, for me, just came up a little bit short tonight. Depleted with injuries, players cobbled together to go out and try and perform this evening. Mazraoui came off, Saiss came off, Agard before kick-off, I believe he was going to start, and I think the substitution the second half disrupted them, but they can be proud of this World Cup, their displays, taking the scalps of Belgium, Spain, Portugal, shocking the world really. But tonight it was France, the world champions, and I don't know, they're a strange team, France. They didn't play with great flair, but they got the job done, didn't they? Once again, World Cup final. Could be back-to-back my tips for the tournament. Mark Chapman laughed at me. I was brave, I stuck my neck out on the line when I went for France again because it hasn't been done for 60 years, I don't think. But there you go, and there's still my tips, Mark Chapman.
I mean, this isn't the point at this stage, but let's just clarify. I didn't laugh at you for tipping France. I laughed at you for you suggesting that France were your outside tip because everybody was going for the obvious. That was what I was laughing at. These are really, really special scenes here at the moment. I've watched Hakimi, like all the Moroccan players, just fell to the turf at the end and lay on his back. And the first player to come up to him was his best mate Kylian Mbappe, who dragged him up off the turf and hugged him and hugged him and hugged him, and then went off to commiserate with some of the other Moroccan players. And Hakimi went back down at that stage. And then Griezmann came up and dragged Hakimi off the turf and hugged him. And then Mbappe has now come back to talk to Hakimi, and right now at the end they swap shirts and embrace, and Hakimi goes off to join the huddle of the Moroccan players in the centre circle, and then Mbappe goes off to join his French teammates who are about to launch themselves towards the French fans, all of them in blue shirts bar Mbappe, who has on a red Moroccan Hakimi shirt. And that's happening to our left, and our way to our right, where all the Moroccan fans are, they haven't gone. They are waiting for their players, who are at the moment being addressed by their head coach Walid Regragui. They are waiting for those players to move towards them. And Regragui just finished talking to the players and then pointed to the Moroccan fans, and you can hear now the cheers that are coming from those fans as those players move towards them. One team has won here tonight and one team has lost, and yet everybody who's in this stadium is on their feet applauding all the players. But Micah, those men in red shirts in particular are taking all the adulation.
Yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant in this tournament. There's a lot of emotions going through. There's highs, there's lows, because they were so close within this game. I mean, the class in the end showed with France and their finishing, but in terms of what they gave to this whole game was outstanding, and that is exactly why the fans are staying there to support their team, or from the defence to the midfield to the strikers. They just give absolutely everything with a depleted squad as well, and that's what makes it even better. There was all together in this, and unfortunately it wasn't meant to be, but they're still heroes.
The Moroccan players as a group then drop to their knees and offer thanks to those Moroccan fans in a very understated, very calm way. And they are standing there with their heads bowed now. They've got back onto their feet. They're standing with their heads bowed. And the Moroccan fans continue to applaud them and cheer them. And Romain Saïss makes his way to the edge of the penalty area on his own, applauding and waving. It's as if, John Murray, at the moment, none of them really want to leave the scene.
Well, it's understandable, isn't it? I mean, the emotions that they've been through, and as well, I think the pressure too, you know, remember about it. They're top-class footballers, so they get pressure all of the time, but I think, they will not have been able to have ignored or got away from the pressure that will have been involved on what they've achieved at this World Cup, and the magnitude of what they were coming into today, to play in a World Cup semi-final. And that takes a nervous energy all of its own, and to be able to produce the performance that they did here tonight. And now it's a slow walk around, and they've recognised the fact that there are actually Moroccan fans all around the stadium, so they're actually going to make sure that all of them are acknowledged in all three tiers.
They are, and the French fans have stayed to acknowledge them as well, Julien Laurent.
Yeah, they stayed. I mean, they obviously clapped and applauded the French first, who then went to that guard of honor made by the rest of the staff back into the dressing room, and then I think, yeah, you pay your tribute for this story of this World Cup. Of course, very soon we're going to talk about the final and France-Argentina, in a way a bit of a dream final, and Mbappé against Messi and all that kind of narratives and stories, but this Moroccan side is the story of this World Cup. They've been incredible. This can only be the beginning for what is a very talented squad, with a very talented head coach as well, and amazing fans. And I think the French will be very happy to show their tribute and show what an amazing team they are. And today, there was definitely not two goals in between those two teams.
I'm looking at Regragui now and his coaching staff, and they're arm in arm, arms around each other. There are tears down there as well. I think Romain Saïss has managed to get one of his children onto the pitch down there as he just stands holding his child up, and they're just surveying the scene of this stadium. You know, we're at a World Cup semi-final, Chris, and the French are into the final, but it feels wrong to focus on them at the moment, and that Jules is laughing, but it does at the moment, and it doesn't often happen in sport, where you get to a semi-final stage, whatever the sport, whatever the competition, where you focus on the losers for the first part.
No, I mean, going into the game as the world champions against I think the world's favourite team, Morocco, because they have shocked everybody in this tournament. Nobody could have seen this Moroccan team going this deep and far in the competition. And in many respects, it's not just that, it's how they've done it, and the way they've played, the way they've set up, the way that they've been superbly organised, the way that they have carried a threat. I think the biggest disappointment for them tonight was, going into the game, and you touched on it, how fit were they going to be? Were they going to have their key men back? And when you're playing the world champions, you need your big hitters back to stand any chance, and they just came up a little bit short. But they are the team that everybody will remember and talk about from this World Cup, and quite rightly, how many fans are of their fans out? They've outnumbered the French. I don't know, 8-1, 9-1, whatever it is. But that tells you everything about how the Moroccan fans feel about their manager and their team. They can be a proud country this evening.
The frustration, Micah, from the Moroccan point of view, is that they had chances this evening. They were sort of half chances, but they had chances.
I think there was more than half chances, if we're being totally honest. I think it was just that little bit of composure on the final pass. They got into really good areas, especially down the sides, and they sort of snatched at things a little bit. And I think they'll be kicking themselves going off the pitch thinking, we actually could have done that today. I mean, France always looked like they could step up when they needed to, if I'm being totally honest. I think if Morocco would have scored, then France probably could have scored again. Even Mbappe in the second half was running back a little bit because he seen his team was under pressure. But I just think they lacked that little bit of quality in the moments. But for sure, they did have chances.
Hamdallah in particular, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Choumeni who gave the ball away in the middle of the park, and he had a couple of opportunities driving at the French back line where he just shifted it and had half a yard where he could have got a shot off, and he's trying to walk the ball into the back of the net, and he came on for Naziri up top, didn't he, and just lacked that quality in the big moments. And it's you're not going to get a lot of opportunities against this French team, and when they come along you have to be absolutely ruthless and clinical, and unfortunately for Morocco they were anything but that this evening.
I mean, it would probably have been Shadira who would have come on, wouldn't it, had he not been suspended, which he has done in the two knockout matches. Who also, he was a brilliant trier, Shadira, but they didn't have him tonight. And in actual fact, Hamdallah had not scored for Morocco since 2014. So that's
a barren spell.
That is a barren spell, Chris. And if anyone would recognise one, then
wow,
someone
that's disrespectful, John.
I never went 8 years without a goal.
I didn't finish that. I didn't finish that sentence. It would be someone who'd not scored for 8 years.
I want to bring in Moroccan football journalist Amin El Amri, who is live in the stadium. Evening, Amin.
Good evening. I hear some tackles going on in there.
yeah. We are two-footed tackling each other. You must feel a sense of disappointment, I suppose, but also an immense sense of pride.
Yeah, of course. It's a mix of both. You have this unachieved goal, but at the same time, you were beyond your wildest dream. So, yeah, it's a mix of both, a bit of disappointment, but also so much pride.
Did you feel the last couple of substitutions maybe just caused Morocco to lose a little bit of momentum?
Yeah, I guess what happened is that we completely messed up our approach to the game. I guess the stakes were so high, and insisting on playing injured players like Mazraoui and Saiss, we just didn't do it against a wonderful team that is France. Far beyond what happened in the second half, and it is what it is, when you come in with players that are not as good as your starting 11. But anyways, I think the approach to the game was messed up.
But I suppose you can understand why they began the way they did, because of all the emotions around this.
Yes, of course. I mean, It's always been like that. I think what France really is good at is kind of manage those kind of situations. Morocco has been, for the first time in this tournament, in control of the possession of the ball. And for the first time in the tournament, they trailed after just 4 or 5 minutes. So I think that was very, very clever from a very, very clever man that is Didier Deschamps.
What happens next for this Moroccan team? How do you want to see them progress over the coming years?
Well, first of all, I want to see them progress to the 3rd place of the World Cup and beat Croatia on Saturday. But yeah, I guess what people would want is that to build from this and not to try and change anything. Like it's an analogy of what happened in this semi-final. You build on what you have and what you gained over the time, and not try something new when it matters the most. So I think it's going to be building up from this, taking out some pieces, adding up some new pieces, some new faces, and there are. And yeah, hoping for this momentum to continue many, many years.
And I don't want to end on a negative, but obviously you can't lose players at international level. Do you worry about maybe losing the manager?
Yeah, I guess what we've seen in this World Cup is that no matter who plays and no matter who is fit, it's all about the group, and it's all about that family that has been constituted around this group, around this man that is Walid Regragui. So I guess if you change the pieces, the policy and the objective and the goal would be the same. And the next goal is actually the African Cup of Nations, which we won only once in 1976. So that would be a huge challenge to have.
Thank you very much for coming on. I mean, really appreciate it. Moroccan football journalist Amin El Amri, who is live in the stadium with us on 5 Live Sport. I know, Jules, you're thinking we're not going to talk France at all, and my final line of the evening will be, and France are in the final, and that's it. We will do France in a moment, but you would imagine there will be there will be clubs across Europe who will probably be looking at Regragui, but certainly in Ligue 1.
Yeah, certainly in Ligue 1, yeah, and I think that's probably the next step for him. Not now. I think he would relish the challenge of taking this team to AFCON in 2024, and rightly so, because there's something special brewing there. We've seen it in this competition. Let's remind everyone, today was his 9th game in charge. 9th game, and to be able to do that, the structure defensively especially was there from the previous manager. We explained that in the pre-match build-up, but still, and what they've done and what they've achieved in this tournament, if you keep that momentum going and Regragui continues what he started, or what he continued from the previous manager as well, then I think they can achieve much, much better things. I don't know if they can do another semi-final of the World Cup in 4 years, for example. That's a long time away, but certainly they will be amongst the favourite at the AFCON in 2024.
Chris said it in commentary, Micah, that the substitutions worked a lot better for the French than they did for the Moroccans.
Yeah, I think so. I think Giroud looked a little bit isolated at times, allowed Thuram to come on and go onto the left-hand side and Mbappe to go down the central. I think it was more of a tactical move for defensively, because Thuram's going to run back, but he allowed Mbappe to be free spirit. He was moving all over the place. I think if there's only one weakness to Mbappe's game, is receiving the ball when he's a number 9. But he didn't stay in one position. He allowed to move freely, and then Colomeni, who come on, who we've talked a lot about before. I watched him in the Champions League as well, and I thought he was a lot younger than he was actually. What's he, 23, 24 now? And I think that was only his 3rd or 4th cap. I think I'm right, Jules. Yeah. And he looks outstanding individually, but I've not seen him burst sort of onto the scene for France yet. But to score his first goal in the semi-final is exactly what you need. And in the end, I think the substitutions made the difference.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the most complicated of finishes, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was all down to Mbappe, wasn't it? I mean, the way he runs. The thing is about Kylian Mbappe. Let me break this down for you. Is he doesn't need to be involved in the game for 90 minutes. It's 5 minutes of genius that can just turn a game on its head. He is by far. I know Messi's doing ridiculous things now. But Mbappe, when he's on the ball, I've not seen anything like it. He is an absolute joy to watch. And every time he gets the ball, I'm up on my seat. I'm like, what's he going to do next? His touch, his technique, he's running behind. And defenders are frightened of him. Yeah, absolutely frightened.
I've got to say, just on Muani, I mean, he's had a great evening. His first touch scored, the goal which has put this semi-final to bed. And you're sort of saying, oh, well, that's easy. That's right place, right time. I mean,
we give him a bit.
Talk about stealing his thunder. I mean,
well, all right,
give the guy some credit.
Okay, well, let me try and redress the balance here. That's the third quickest goal for a substitute in World Cup history for Colin Muani. He scored it after just 44 seconds. And the other interesting thing with Muani and Mbappe is that they're from the same town in northeast Paris.
Yeah, and Saliba as well. Both Colomani and Saliba had Kylian's dad, Wilfried, as a coach because he coaches in that grassroots team at Bondy. So they've known each other for a long time. But Micah is right. For Colomani, he was a very late bloomer because he didn't go to an academy like the usual path. And then at Nantes, he really exploded last season, then left to go to Eintracht Frankfurt, where he is having a really good season in the Bundesliga. So this is a reward for all the hard work that he's put in the last 18 months or so.
Yeah, so all I was saying was it wasn't that goal that means he burst onto the scene. That was all I was trying to say.
I'd take a goal in the semi-final of a World Cup.
Yeah, me too.
The bigger picture with France, they've now reached the World Cup final 4 times in the last 7 tournaments: 98, 2006, 2018 and 2022. Twice more than any other nation over that period. Also, if you expand it a little bit, Jules, of the last 13 finals, if you include the Euros, the French have made 6 of those, which is a remarkable record, particularly in because in most of the rest of those tournaments in between, they've imploded, gone on strike, argued, whatever it is. I mean, it is either feast or famine.
Completely, and I was waiting for you to go like, well, yeah, the other competitions, they imploded completely, which we did. I think, Deschamps is doing an incredible job. If you just look at his time, 10 years now, quarterfinal in 2014, final 2016, winning 2018. The last Euros was more complicated, and then final again. In this time, you have to count us as amongst the top nations in those kind of competitions. It's not always pretty, and I don't think it was pretty tonight, and I don't think it was good enough. For example, I don't think if you play like this against Argentina on Sunday...
Never happy, Jules, are you, the French?
I don't think you win. Like you, Big Chris. I think you must be French somehow as well. But it doesn't matter because this is a winning team.
That's right, but how are the French public with that? With the sort of boring brand of football?
It's very mixed feelings because tonight I can guarantee you there's people very happy by the result, and this is a game about results anyway. And there's other people saying like, even without the players that we mentioned who are missing, with this squad and this talent, they should be playing better than that. You shouldn't have 39% of the ball against Morocco in a semi-final of the World Cup when you have a better squad than them, when you've got the experience that they don't have. This is, and I can understand the debate, and it was the debate exactly the same in 2018. This is a team that is very similar to the one that won 4 years ago in so many respects. And it would be because it's the same coach. But the debate again between today and Sunday would be exactly the same.
Do France want to be Spain then?
They don't. But I think it's a fair case to say that they could play better.
They're like a German team of old, aren't they? Just efficient, but
exactly.
It doesn't matter, Chris.
No.
It doesn't. I mean, England would take playing like that and winning a World Cup. I mean, if you talk about the development, Jules, you're probably talking about having a style of play for 10, 15. I don't care what anyone says. Get me to 2 World Cup finals.
I know.
Yeah, but a lot of the public wouldn't take that, Micah, would they? From England? They don't want England playing tournament football and boring people.
I don't know what the public want anymore.
It's the internal debate anyway of what would you go for, and rarely you win by playing well. You win by having a strong defence.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Jules. Even, France didn't play that well today. Don't you think on a switch they could turn it on?
Yeah, you're right.
The same as England as well. I was nervous. England was the better team on the night, but dangerous. If you talk about danger, every time France go forward, even Dembele, he didn't play that great at times, but he's got that pace and he's got that skill and he's got that directness that puts the fear into other teams.
That's true, although I would like to see Dembele more dribbling more with the ball, because right now I don't know what they've done with him. He defends more than he attacks. But still, again, we go back to Deschamps, Chappers, for your next question, in the sense that he's made this team a ruthless winning team. That's all they care about. And trust me, right now, none of those players will care about if they played well, if they had a lot of the ball, if they created chances, what the XG, what the expected goal is on isn't or against or what. They could not care less. It's all about winning.
I'm not sure they're dull. I mean, they've played some good football in this tournament. Morocco went toe-to-toe with them tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I do, but you always feel that there can be more to come from France.
I agree.
Don't you? They're like a Citroen. What are the roads called in France? Autoroute, and they're sort of in third gear, and they could go through more
Did you just
gears.
say autoroute?
Yeah, is that right? Is that right? I don't know. Is that what the road? But
It's
you feel like there's so much more to come, and all throughout the tournament. In games, they've sort of played well in patches. They're similar to Argentina, but a bit better.
But there isn't a single team at this tournament who's played well in every single game. I mean, there isn't.
No,
true.
I agree with that. But we can say, I mean, Jules, the French expert, is like Mike is saying, if England were France, we'd be loving it, wouldn't we? Because getting to major finals, winning World Cups, but France are doing it, and. There are some people within France who are unhappy with the brand of football.
Yeah, it's all about creating a culture, isn't it? It's about creating a culture where you win things, as we've been talking about. And when I was growing up, France were nowhere. And I remember in the 70s, you would. I mean, they were one of the also-rans. You wouldn't consider France at all. And then the Platini era came along. Yeah. They won the Euros and they won a tournament. And then it's since then that we've seen them do what they do.
But even then, when I was growing up, 20 years after you, in the they did win those Euros, did the French. But then they were nowhere after that for a long time. So it is a very modern success story. Is the French going back from 98? And I know we could go over Clairefontaine again as well, but I saw another thing on social media from Pete Parcell saying, on top of all of that, through their successful periods, the French have had a generational talent. They've arguably had the best player in the world for those when those teams are successful. Zidane, Henry, and now Mbappe.
Yeah, and even Platini for the Euros 84 and then the 82 and 86 World Cup where they lost to Germany in the semi-finals. They lost in 58, they lost the semi-final, in 82 and in 86. The first three semi-finals of the World Cup, they lost them. Since then, they've won each of them. And in 98, and the four that we mentioned already, they've won the last five semi-finals before tonight, so 6-9 in a row, they've won. And I think you create, like John was saying, that winning mentality. And I think Deschamps is the architect of that. And I think some of the players who've been there since he took over in 2012, like Varane, like Griezmann, like Lloris, have kind of cultivated that as well, to the sense that now they don't panic. This game is very similar to the England game. Micah is right. We're sitting here and we're saying the same thing. They're ruthless. They don't panic. They stay calm and they take their chances, although they missed a few today, but still, they have, and everything is going their way right now. And you know what they're going to love about Sunday is that Argentina and Messi will be the favorite. And they will be the underdogs, and that suits them perfectly.
No.
They will. Of course they will. Of course they will. Right now, you would say that they're favourite against Argentina and Messi.
You say there's your reverse psychology again. Every game you cry it in.
I mean, it's working so far. It would be crazy to change anyway.
So what happens to Deschamps at the end of this competition?
Well, hang on. Just before you answer that, you think Argentina are favourites for Sunday?
Of course, it's Messi.
It's saying that with a straight face.
No.
Who do you think are favourites for Sunday?
It's a joke.
I think it's 50-50.
Oh, come on. That's not what you're paid to do. Come on.
It's got to be 51-49 to someone.
I'm paid to give my honest assessment.
Go on.
I think France. Actually, I think France are the favourites.
Argentina
Chris,
have Messi and the fans.
Hang on. Chris?
Absolutely France. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Messi's
John?
last World Cup.
I'm with Chris. France.
John, don't let
France
me down.
favourite. I'm not. I can't, Jules, I don't want to let you down, but I have to agree with Chris.
You're such a blagger. What is blagger in French?
Blagger.
El Blagger.
If you want to... well, now you can ask your question about Deschamps, Chris.
I've forgotten it. So at the end of the tournament, what's going to happen if they win or lose the final?
His contract is up after this on Sunday night, so it'll be down to him to choose what he wants to do.
What's your feeling, though?
I think he's going to stay. I think he will be. It's been 10 years is a long time, but 10 years of success has gone very quickly. I mean, not that you can relate, but for us, for us in France, those 10 years have gone so quickly because we've won so many things and achieved great. No, seriously.
So what about Zidane then? Where does he fit into that?
That's the thing. I think Zidane was convinced that this would be his time now. And Deschamps might walk out. If Deschamps wins on Sunday, imagine just him saying, listen, it's been great. 10 years, 2 World Cups, 1 Euros final. I can go. He will be the greatest ever manager at international level. No one has ever done 2 in a row as a manager, or even 2 full stop as a head coach winning the World Cup. So it will be special, and I also can see him leaving. But he's got such a great generation coming through that, I mean, you can see him staying until the Euros.
I think Vittorio Pozzo did it with Italy.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
In, in 34 and 38.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
But
still.
Who
told him that? Who told you that?
No, I had a feeling when I said it. I thought Pozzo did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making that point, which would still be some achievement, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it would. Absolutely.
What kind of having seen both teams in the semi-finals now, Michael, what kind of final would you expect? Bearing in mind, when the 2 teams met in Russia 4 years ago, it finished 4-3 to the French. There were 8 cards, and it was a humdinger.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure. It depends which French team turns up, because I've seen Mbappe walking at times. I've seen Giroud not winning duels tonight, but I've also seen against England when they needed to, everyone work as a team together. You know, the Argentina team are going to work hard. That's part of that. That's part of their team. The midfielders are brilliant. The centre halves have been great. Otamendi as well as being, a lot of people wrote him off. I would say it's going to be counter-attack game. I think Messi and Mbappe are going to be the difference. I think Argentina are going to defend deep and then try counter-attack, and France are going to catch them on the counter-attack. So I'm going to say a France win, just.
I would say France could do with Rabiot back.
Yes, I agree.
I think they missed him tonight, as you suggested they might.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think I don't know if Argentina are the team that have changed the most tactically. They went for a back 5, a back 4. They played with 4 central midfielders in the semi-final against Croatia. There's a lot of things that Scaloni can do. But in the end, whether he goes with a 5, a 4 at the back, whether he goes, whoever he picks, it will all be about Messi anyway. Yeah, Alvarez is in great form, De Paul is in good form, Enzo is in great form, but it's all down to Messi. And I think for the French, it will be done maybe not just to Kylian, but a lot of it. And Griezmann will have a big role to play again, of course. I think it will be very, very tight. I think France will win it.
Why?
Don't say
why
that
not?
now. Don't say that now.
That would make them the favourites. That would make them the favourites then.
No, you can win without being the favourite. You can.
John is right, Chris, in that they will need Rabiot for that game, given the intensity of the Argentinian midfield.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he was a big miss this evening. I think that. I'm trying to work out how this final will pan out, because they're both teams who don't really want the ball and who sort of have picked their moments, in this competition. I actually think it's going to be a really feisty final, because just with the nature of the way that Argentina have, since they got beaten by Saudi Arabia, they've been really fired up and been on the edge, and I think the French will respond to that. But I don't think it's going to be a classic football match. I was in Kazan, I think, in the cooking pot with that when the French beat Argentina 4-3, which was a brilliant game. I think it'll be a different type of game, maybe not a brilliant watch, but like Micah said, who's to say that it won't be a moment from Messi or Mbappe that will probably end up deciding the game.
Can I just ask you, what is that happening with Camavinga? Because we mentioned Rabiot, and no disrespect, a year ago we wouldn't have even mentioned Rabiot, and now he must be starting. Camavinga was the obvious choice within the last, say, 6 months. Last year in the Champions League game against City, against Chelsea, against PSG, he was the one who'd come in and install that energy in midfield, and now we're not even talking about Camavinga.
So I don't know if you saw him warming up a little bit in the first half. It was to come on for Theo at left back, because right now Camavinga is the second left back. Deschamps doesn't think he's ready to play in this kind of games yet. He almost didn't make the squads, and now he turned him as a backup left back, which we saw against Tunisia didn't really work out that much. But yeah, that's why he's not there. But Rabiot has to be back. And Upamecano, I thought Konate did well tonight. I think I prefer him. I don't know what Deschamps is going to do, but Rabiot certainly, especially out of possession, is so important for that team.
And finally, Chris, if you take what happened last night, Croatia had control of that game for 20 minutes last night. Argentina hit them on the break. They win a penalty. They've hit them on the break for the second. So if France do end up having more possession in that final on Sunday, it's about making sure they don't get hit on the break, really.
Yeah, no, but that's I think both teams want to set up the same way, and essentially are quite happy not having the ball. So I mean, it'll be intriguing how it actually pans out. But it's going to be a game that both sides have gotten to this stage because of picking their moments within games, and it will be the same on Sunday. I've got no doubt about that.
We've got more Micah on the way with the Match of the Day Top 10 podcast. Final thought from you, John Murray, on what feels like a historic semi-final?
Yeah, a great occasion to be at. We will remember it. We'll remember it because what Morocco have done at this World Cup, and as I say, odd World Cup, strange World Cup, that's what we've been saying throughout, but Morocco have certainly given us something to remember from 2022, and in the end, Argentina, France, that has got a proper World Cup final sound about it.
John, Jules, Chris, thank you. More Micah on the way. It's the one with the greatest World Cup games. Is this a good one that's coming up?
They're all good chapters.
Of course they are. So Gary Lineker, Micah and Alan after the BBC News with Matthew Bone at 9:31.